out of the corner with it. Perfetti up to the line to Morrissey. Morrissey to the far point. Luke Chen into the corner now. Fowler and Shifley again. Perfetti centers and they score. They found Kyle Connor right in front. The Jets have taken a 2-1 lead. 18-17 to go in the third period.
Let's get nasty on the Tuesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, 202 your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Well, the Blues went 19-4-3 after the Four Nations face-off, and that was before the playoffs began. And unfortunately, they have dropped the first 2 games of this series.
How many games does it take to win a series, Anthony?
4, baby.
Oh, okay, so they're down what?
2.
Okay.
It's not over.
It's not over.
Jets got to win 2 more.
Yeah. It's a long way to go.
It's a long way to go. Now, the Blues do have to win 4.
You know what?
Either way.
We start with 2.
You got to start with 1.
You got to start with 1.
You can only win 1.
Okay.
Very true.
1 at a time.
Carey.
I'm just saying.
I need you
mathematically
to stop making sense.
Okay.
Okay? Please.
I apologize.
The third period woes continued last night. The Blues have been outscored 4-0 in the third period over the first 2 games. And the Jets' top line has been
what have they done?
Scorching hot. 4 goals, 9 points, 7 at even strength. And that's kind of where, I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can peel back this onion. But let's start with that first.
Hang on. Can we start with something different?
Okay. Yeah, whatever you want. What would you like to start with?
Well, obviously, we can get to the top line here. We got lots of time.
Sure.
How much fun is this playoff hockey? Like, for real. Like, when you're watching, in particular, the first period of game 1 and the first half of the game yesterday.
Oh, the way the game started with the Blues just flying all over the ice and hammering everything with a blue jersey. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, the intensity's been great.
And they got rocked, too.
Yeah. Jordan Kyrou's
soul left the building for a few minutes.
He was skating to the bench. You can see he's like,
well, you know exactly what happened there.
Hold it together.
He got the wind knocked out of him.
Hold it together.
And you feel like you're going to die in that moment. And then Ray Burley's got the arms under the armpits. And, breathe, son, just breathe. Now, kudos to Jordan Kyrou. He came back out and played, and, you know, you can say what you want about how he played, but he came back and played. Like, I'm sorry, this is just my opinion. I believe the Jordan Kyrou of a year or 2 ago would have been, maybe we're done here. Maybe we're done. I'm not sure. Came back and played.
I'm going to tap out.
I just love the physicality of the playoffs. I mean, we talked about it a little bit the other day, but it's different when I'm on the road and we're doing the whole, like, access unit thing. It's hard to be as open, as vocal as I'd like to be, but Carey, you have to love watching that crap.
I do. I mean, I told you before, I like seeing people get hitting people, like the physical part, and I know it gets turned up a lot once the playoffs hit, but that just, it shows you how important every single second is when you're out there. You're fighting for space, you're fighting for pucks, you're fighting for your playoff life. And those guys, both teams, I think, are doing a really good job. The Blues, hopefully, you know, can put more goals in the net and come out of there with a victory. But it's not for lack of trying. It's not like they are, you know, just being beat down by a Winnipeg Jets team. They are actually playing their butts off. The Winnipeg Jets are a good team. And the fact that but I think sometimes people, like, we have gone to this place where, they're the President Cup. They're supposed to lose in the first round. No, they're not. Mm-hmm. Like, they're a good team. They've been the best team all year for a reason. So you're going to have to take it from them. They're not going to give it to you. And right now, they are playing better than the Blues. Not the entire game, but when it counts most, they're playing better. But I do love the physical part of it. I do love that the Blues are fighting every single night, but they just aren't coming out with the victory.
So, to your point, Carey, the Winnipeg Jets finished with 116 points, the best point total in the entire NHL. Mm-hmm. The Blues finished with 96 points. Quick math, guys. 20-point difference.
Yeah.
Okay?
I didn't know there was going to be math.
I was told no math.
I wrote it down before. It's fine.
I don't have my shoes off
You're
yet.
fine. You're fine. I covered for you.
Okay.
20-point difference. That's 10 wins. That's a 10-win difference. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people felt like this is going to be an easy one for the Jets. No, they're up 2-0. So some say, well, it is easy. They're up 2-0 already. The Blues haven't won a game. But ask the Winnipeg Jets how they feel about it.
Yeah.
Because I saw a lot of ice bags and a lot of players are limping around, too. But to your point, going right back to where you started, Anthony, their top dogs are winning the games.
Yeah.
2 games in a row now that Kyle Connor has scored the game-winning goal, and he's on your top line. And you got to find a way to slow those guys down.
Yeah, so I mentioned this statistic before. The Jets' top line, 4 goals, 9.7 of those 9 at even strength. The Blues' top players, they're struggling. And look, plus minus is a flawed stat, but just to kind of give you an idea of where some of these guys are, Thomas is at -4, Parayko is -4, Buchnevich is -3, and the combination of Snuggerud and Neighbors is -2. You don't have Holloway, sure, but these are the guys that you're counting on to perform, big in big time moments.
Yeah.
So, is there a strategic element to slowing down that top line of the Jets? Is there something different that Jim Montgomery can do on the chalkboard that can apply to the ice?
No, nothing on the chalkboard. It's awareness. I mean, I showed you guys in the office the game-winning goal of Kyle Connor. Everything was going pretty well, pretty close to plan. Pavel Buchnevich misses the entire assignment. Kyle Connor loops up towards the blue line, which he does. I find he gets lost in the weeds. Just like in the first game where all of a sudden he's all by himself backdoor for a one-timer. You have to know where he's at. And I talked many times about taking inventory. So for me, it was a little bit different because I had to worry about, whether Mario Lemieux was on the ice or whether Ty Domi was on the ice. You got to take inventory because one guy's going to score, the other one's going to knock your teeth out. So if you're the Blues in this scenario in the playoffs, every time you're out there, you have to have your head on swivel. And I hate to single out Pavel Buchnevich on this play, but we saw his eyeballs were fixated on the puck the entire time, and he followed it all the way down to the post, and then Kyle Connor snuck in behind him, got an easy one-timer. And at the same time, Colton Parayko happened to hit the stick out of Jordan Binnington's hands or kick it out of the way. Whether he would have made the save or not, I don't know. But, these things happen. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough when the other team's top players show up and the other team's, your goaltenders holding the fort. Hellebuck did nothing special last night, but he didn't really.
Unfortunately, he didn't have to.
Why you be like that?
Hey, look.
Why you be like that?
Oh, wait, I'll tell you why I gotta be like this. Because if you look at some of the high danger chances, 12-3 in game 2, 8-4 in game 1 in favor of Winnipeg.
Oh, it's just numbers, Anthony.
Which kind of tell you the story about what's going on. No, I mean, challenge Hellebuck. I don't think to your point, I don't think he's been special, but I also don't think they've created enough. I mean,
no, they obviously haven't. Look, I'm not
that last power play was disappointing, to say the least.
I'm not going to. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to. Okay, let's break this down. One, you're right. I'm not going to sit here and put lipstick on a pig. The Blues need to generate a lot more offense 5-on-5. I'm not complaining about the power play. I think they're 3 for 5, 3 for 6 in the series. That'd be 50%. I'm not going there with my complaints. Did that last power play look good? No, it didn't look good at all. Wasn't happy. Thought they should have moved the puck quicker, got more shots. But when your power play's running at 50%, it goes back to 5-on-5 has to be better.
Sure.
But your penalty kill has been really good. The Jets are number 1 power play in the NHL. I think they're 1 for 7 on the power play so far in these playoffs. So PK's doing his job. Power play's doing his job. 5-on-5, you're just not there. You're not getting inside ice. You're not getting those shots. You're just not creating what you need to be creating.
I think you can pick apart any part of each game but that power play that you're talking about, because I listen to you often talk about moving the puck side to side. It's like they kept it on one side, which made it easier for the Jets defend. They don't have to move, and you've talked to me about that. When you move it side to side, it's a lot of energy going from one side of the ice to the other.
You force the other team to move,
and now you're more tired playing defense. You get more tired than you do playing offense. So I think that was a mistake and a missed opportunity. But as you said, if you're 3 for 6 on the power play in the playoffs so far, that's still good. But I think that this team has to capitalize almost every single time they get that chance.
Yeah, and I think that, just to kind of put a bow on this, the 11-7 was a nice strategy because I understand what Monty was trying to do. He was trying to reward certain players that are going, and I guess he wasn't really using Matthew Joseph the game before, so why have him in the lineup? And then, I don't know. In theory, I mean, in thought, you're like, okay, not too bad. But then when I started diving into it, I looked at the minutes played, and you cross-reference that with the way the play dipped. Like Robert Thomas had 23 and a half minutes or something of ice time. I believe he's playing through an injury right now. If that's the case, that's too much.
Yeah.
And you wonder why at the end of the game you have no juice. There were several forwards playing 20-plus minutes last night. I'm sorry. the fourth line had 2 guys under 10 minutes of ice time. The WTF lines want to set the pace for you. Like, I'd be rolling them out every third shift just to piss off the other team and give my guys a rest and let them go physically. Like, they may not score, okay? But most of the time when they're out there, the puck is on the other side of center ice, which gives your goalie, your defense, every bit of a chance to breathe, and it pushes the other team back a little bit, you know? And so I think that there's a lot to unpack for the Blues and the coaching staff, and I do feel this way, too. I think that Colton Parayko's still working through that knee injury. I think Robert Thomas is working through something. I think there's a lot of bumps and bruises on the Blues overall, as there will be on the Jets. But you get 2 days off here, you play a game, and you have 2 days off, and you play a game. This next stretch of 5 to 6 days will obviously be the season for the Blues. If you can get Thomas and Parayko feeling better over the next couple of days and they're ready to go for the big game on Thursday night, then you can give them another 2 days off, and you might be able to shove back here. And let's not forget, the Blues are one of the best teams in the league post 4 Nations on home ice.
Yeah.
I mean, was it 11 in a row on home ice or something like that?
They broke a record.
Maybe it's 12 in a row overall, and I think it's 11 in a row on home ice that they have. So if that's the case, you got that going through here for you too. So the Jets are not they're not in the best place. They're up 2-0, but they're not at the point where they're going to wrap up the series.
Also important to note, you get the last change. And that's huge in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You will get the final change at home, and like we said in the office, the series does not start until the home team loses.
That's right. Scotty Bowman said
Scotty
that.
Bowman.
Katie Wu also said this, at least tweeted it out about 5-6 minutes ago. The Cardinals are optioning Michael Ciani to AAA for the corresponding move of Mason Wynn, who will be activated off the IL. So Mason Wynn activated off the IL today. Corresponding move optioning Michael Ciani to AAA.
I got one here from Jay Killa, okay? Says, that's why it made me mad when Jamie said he'd rather play the Jets than Vegas. I've been saying this. Looks like all these non-Stanley Cup experienced players are playing pretty damn good. Okay, they've won 2 games. They haven't won anything yet. Take a look at the Vegas game.
Yeah, not
Tell me how Minnesota feels about playing against Vegas right now.
I don't think good.
No.
I don't think good at all.
I think it was going to be a tough matchup either way. I think it was a 50-50 on who you got. But I'd rather play the Jets team that still has the capabilities of folding like a cheap suit under pressure, where Vegas may not do so.
Very true. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers in studio. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fastlane. Cardinals bullpen had another lapse last night. We'll talk about that and whether or not the front office is to blame for that, too. That's next on 101 ESPN. If you ever been out to a dealership that you become disappointed with the selection, or if you looked online at a certain dealership inventory only to find that when you got to the dealership, they're like, no, that car's at another location. You got to check out my friends at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. That's where we got our Nissan Pathfinders. We love the Nissan Pathfinder in the Stalter household. We love the third row. We love the fact that it's got so much space. Dropping off the kids at school becomes a lot easier with that third row and that the space in the back. But the Pathfinders are the only thing that they have. They got brand new Pathfinders. They got brand new Altimas, Rogues. They also have pre-owned vehicles too. Different makes, different models, not just Nissans. And forget about overpaying at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. These vehicles are priced to move. Plus, on new Nissans, you get a complimentary lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise. You got that serious peace of mind when you drive off the lot. Over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location. So no scavenger hunt required. They will have it at AutoCentersNissan.com. They will have it on their lot at down in Herculaneum at Auto Centers Nissan. So check them out online, autocentersnissan.com. Auto Centers Nissan, big inventory, bigger savings, zero nonsense. Cardinals fall last night in Atlanta, and I guess it's kind of a perfect way to end that game as Nolan Arenado has a check swing where the ball just dribbles out in front of the catcher, and there's really nothing he can do about it. Sums up where the Cardinals are at right now. They fall to 1-10 now on the road. They blew a 3-2 lead in the eighth. The Braves scored 5 runs to win 7-6, and it's another St. Louis bullpen collapse as the frustrating road series continues for the stretch for the Cardinals continues. I mean, it's just different people now. Phil Maton had his first rough outing. He entered the season with perfect stats. The series with perfect stats: 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 12 outings. Gave up the tying hit to Olsen, walked 2, and then that opened up the floodgates. In previous games, it's been Jojo Romero or Fernandez. But it seems like they're all taking turns. Now, Ryan Helsley's had some rough outings, too. His bullpen isn't good enough for the Cardinals. But I don't know. I mean, CD, I know you raised the question in the office about whether or not the front office is to blame here. Yes, they are. But I don't necessarily know if it's about them not doing anything in the offseason. I mean, Phil Maton, again, it was great, and he was their one signing.
This reminds me of a couple of years ago, where it felt like every time Ali would try to make the right decision on which pitcher we're going, whether it was Gallegos, whether it was Jordan Hicks, Ryan Helsley, it felt like each time he threw, like the guy could throw well the day before, a couple of days before, and then the next day they would have a blow up, right, and you would end up losing the game. And it feels like it's in the same mode of 2023. Now I hope we don't get to that level because that was a really tough season to watch. But right now, the Cardinals are second in the majors in blown saves. They've had multiple opportunities. They've lost every extra inning game that they've played in. And I asked the question, is this solely on the front office? Because when you look at the roster construction, you knew that you were going to go with a youth movement essentially at all of the positions. The lineup, you knew who was going to be here. You kind of had an understanding. The pitching staff was a little bit up for question. You didn't know who was going to make the starting five, who would be in the starting rotation, and who would be in the bullpen. But they made no efforts whatsoever other than a last-minute signing of Phil Maton, which felt like it was nudged by the MLBPA or the MLB, like, hey, what the hell are y'all doing? You better do something. and then they signed Phil Maton. But they didn't do anything. They didn't upgrade. Roycroft is not here. Fernandez is probably not about to be here. Jojo Romero, who was great 2 years ago, really the only bright thing that was taking place. That. No, he was outstanding.
Oh, you mentioned Brightside.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Brightside is what we'll call JoJo. But yeah, he was one of the standouts 2 years ago. He's had his struggles. He gave up a bomb yesterday to Sean Murphy. It feels like this is on, to me, this... I won't blame the front office for the lineup. I won't blame the front office for the pitching staff for the starting rotation, but I will put this on them because you didn't make any upgrades. You didn't do anything other than Phil Maton, which is outstanding. He's been pretty good other than last night. You didn't make any upgrades there. And so for me, when you're looking at it, I say, well, what were they trying to do or what was the game plan going into this season?
See, I go big picture on this. I go back further than that. I agree it's the front office, but I don't think it's because they didn't do anything in the offseason. I mean, when it comes to free agent relievers, you can get into a lot of trouble that way. I mean, we all know the Brett Cecil experiment, but there's more to,
Who's the guy we had last year?
Kittredge.
Andrew
He was
Kittredge,
good.
who was a acquisition from the Rays.
You could have held on to him.
You could. You absolutely could have.
And brought in Phil Maton. That changes a little bit what you got going on.
Wouldn't have costed that much.
I just think that the bigger issue, as I look at the bullpen numbers for the Cardinals across the league, they got an ERA of 5.08. There are only 5 teams worse than that number. But then when you go over to, and I've said this before, I said it yesterday, the biggest issue is they don't have swing and miss stuff. Right now, total strikeouts from the bullpen, they're 25th. They've got 67 strikeouts from their pen.
Is that good?
The Dodgers have 112. The Yankees have 104. The Blue Jays have 101. The Astros, 94. The Brewers, 92. They don't have swing and miss stuff.
Isn't this what they were supposed to add, though? Like, is this not what we heard 2 years ago?
This is the problem.
When they decided they're changing from pitch to contact, to we got to find more swing and miss.
They don't have it in the organization, apparently.
But then go get it.
Exactly.
Take a chance on a kid who maybe isn't as accurate as you'd like them to be, but when his stuff is on, you can't hit it.
It can't be that hard to find because other major league teams are doing it. It's not like they're looking for a unicorn here.
No.
Find guys with some swing and miss stuff that you can put in your pen. If not, you're going to get into situations where your defense has to be stellar or else you're going to have issues. I mean, the ball's constantly being put in play.
Anthony, Carey, I want to, and Marshy for that matter, I want to bounce something off you guys. It took 23 minutes in the show, but I don't know how long this segment. It took 6 minutes of this segment to get here. From Man Love, 314. How about a catcher calling terrible pitches?
Oh gosh, we're gonna blame a new catcher now.
Yep. That's all right.
We did this a couple of years ago.
By the way, who was it that told us? I believe it was it Gibby last year? He was on with us. He told us, like, the pitchers, like, you're allowed to grab the pitch com and call your own game, too.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah, Jamie, you hush your mouth. You
Carey,
stop telling the truth on these airwaves.
I apologize.
All right.
If I'm talking out of turn. However, a Major League Baseball pitcher did say that the pitchers, if they're not happy with a certain pitch sequence, can shake it off or take the pitch com and call their own pitch.
Jamie, you don't know ball. The catchers call the game.
All right.
Every time.
Just
one
checking.
else. And then the catchers actually locate the pitch where it's pitched.
Yeah.
It's on them. Nobody else.
But this is
pitchers have no say in it.
There's 4 catchers now that can't do the job. Contreras, Herrera, Pajes, and Pozo.
Yeah.
man.
4. Four suck. All of them are terrible at calling pitches.
Here's the other
which,
thing.
by the way, a lot of times you're getting the pitch from the dugout.
Well, here's the other thing about that as well. I've watched, I think Pages tried it, Pozo tried it. They're watching the runner take off, and they're standing up trying to get the ball quicker. The pitchers aren't doing a great job of holding the runners on either. What it was last series, I believe, it might have been the Phillies, it might have been the Mets. It was the Mets. That just took off. It might have been Acuna, just took off. Mm-hmm. And I think Pages was like, give me the ball. I'm not going to make it.
There's no chance.
It wasn't Acuna. Who'd you say?
Acuna. The little brother.
Oh, gotcha.
Ronald Acuna.
I was like,
the little brother, Luis Angel.
got it.
Acuna. Yeah.
I was just clarifying.
Acuna Matata.
It couldn't. Well, no, Jamie.
Sorry for
Because we're in a Cardinals segment. That means no worries. It doesn't apply.
for the rest of your days.
It doesn't apply.
It's our problem-free philosophy.
All right. The Cardinals are playing tonight, mercifully. So we're going to do a lineup game.
Yes.
Next on 101 ESPN.
So many things that are fun right now that you can bet on. The NHL playoffs, got the NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball. So many great options available out there. So please download Circa Sports Illinois, the app. It was a vision by my buddy Derek Stevens, who owns Circa Las Vegas. He always wanted the world's largest sports book in his casino. So he did that. Now he brings that right to the palm of your hands with the new Circa Sports Illinois app. They've got great lines on all futures bets. They've got those tight money line splits as well. And they've got the best odds of any app that's out there. Just download, compare with other apps that are available, and you'll see that Circa Sports has the best odds. Therefore, they have the biggest payouts as well. Lots of fun using Circa Sports Illinois. They've also got the high betting limits, and it's really user-friendly. You get on there, you download the app by going to their website or any app store that's available. And if you have a problem by any chance, they've got a real person that you call and talk to, and they walk you through it so that you can get busy on your Circa Sports Illinois app. So please don't miss out on all the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues fall to the Jets last night in Game 2. They are now down 2-0 in the series. A chance to pick up a victory on home ice on Thursday. That is when Game 3 is. And you can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7:30 on Thursday. Puck drop is at 8:30. We'll talk about last night's game with Joe Vitale at 5:15. So stay tuned for that. The Cardinals lost to the Atlanta Braves last night by a final score of 7-6. First pitch tonight against Atlanta is at 6:15 with Andre Palante on the mound going up against Scott Blewett. We're going to play the lineup game next. Mason Wynn back up with the big club. Michael Ciani has been optioned. Will Mason Wynn be in the lineup? We'll find out next when we play the lineup game. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Sounder means it's time to play the lineup game as the Cardinals continue their series with the Atlanta Braves. Scott Blewett on the hill. He's a right-hander.
Let's go Cards.
7:15.
Maybe they'll blow this game, Anthony, like the Cardinals did last night.
I see what you did there. Yeah, good call on that one. Andre Palante will take the hill for the Cardinals. 2-1, 3.22 ERA.
My phone is just going off.
Your phone's going off.
Just answer it, Carey.
No, it's just
playing. Let's bring your personal.
It was closed.
That happens sometimes if you have a video up and you click out of it.
Nah.
See what's going on there.
Damn, answer yourself, Jamie.
What happened? What happened, Carey? Looking at something, were you? All right.
It's weird. It sounds like Twitter. Someone's in pain.
Or X.
Yeah, probably that one.
Yep.
Lars Taylor, Tetsuya Newbar?
Yes.
Okay. No?
What? All right, go ahead.
Were we all in agreement?
Well, I think at some point, Victor Scott. Lars has been struggling.
Yeah.
Victor Scott has been hitting.
Is it now?
I don't know, but just something let's put a pin in it. Okay. We can go Lars here, but let's just put a pin in that. Let's remember that. Go ahead, Anthony.
Show us. Lars Taylor, Tetsuya Newbar.
International
Good job, guys.
superstar.
Watch out, don't run into any walls or anything.
Okay.
Contreras?
Yes. That's who I think it is.
Carey?
Go ahead, Anthony. Jamie. You guys look the same.
What do you mean? I said we all look the same?
No, it's just I see you every day. I get confused sometimes.
I don't understand the comment.
Nah, he calls me Jamie sometimes. And we definitely look alike.
That's
right?
weird. All right, show us Wilson Contreras, please.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything worth doing is.
All right, this is Donnie again.
Yeah.
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Surprise, surprise.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, fellas.
He's got the day off with Mason Wynn back.
Okay. So who do you put there? Is Burley there? What are you calling me?
Are you trying to see if the phone is on? Trying to do a lineup game here.
Seriously, what?
And Jamie's calling Carey.
I just want to see if he's alert.
That's a good call.
We got him.
All right. Let's see here.
Burley, Gorman had a decent night.
I can see
He
Gorman.
had a really good night.
Yeah.
If Donovan is out of the lineup, so Gorman would be at second. He would be
Mason Wynn would be
somebody
Jason's
here.
probably in there, but who's playing shortstop? So Jason?
Wynn, 'cause he's
that's right. He's
activated.
back. Never
Yep.
mind. You know, guys, I'll see myself to the door.
It's all right. Just happened.
Or
Or
it's a JCN, and Donovan is your DH.
But wouldn't Donnie Boy be right here then, like you wanted him to be?
yeah.
Or it could be. Okay, sure. Yeah. That what you want? That's what we're doing?
I say Gorman.
Gorman.
Sure.
Donnie, I already said no, Donnie. Donnie already got X'd out in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Show us.
Not in life.
Nolan Gorman.
Swing Serenade is brought to you by Gorman's.
Dingers! Hang me a curve and I will hit. Dingers!
Or doubles. It's fine.
Hey.
He hit the ball.
He did.
Yeah.
He hit the snot out of it.
Hit it.
All right.
And this is your guy, Anthony.
Yeah, this is.
Go ahead.
Show us. Nolan Arenado.
A lot of people think you get in your mid-30s and your career's over, but like I always say, until they stop scouting, I ain't going to stop playing.
That's a great motto right there.
I like it.
Yeah.
The one that you live by, Jamie.
That's right. Anthony just never know.
Yeah.
Arenado. Let's see here. Gorman.
You go Burley here? You think Donnie is out? Because he batted fifth.
I think he's out.
He batted fifth a couple of days ago against the Mets.
It makes sense if Mason Wynn is back that you give Donovan, who has been playing almost every day, a day off.
He's built for it, Anthony.
Okay. I think this is Alec Burleson.
I don't think Burley's playing.
Okay. Jamie, break the tie.
So you're thinking Burley's a DH then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would say that's correct. Show us Alec Burleson.
You're already acting like you're a star, and we haven't even opened yet.
All right.
It's Jordan Walker. Show us Jordan Walker.
Die for every ball. It's boring otherwise. Plus, it looks harder.
It's too long. Too long.
Too long.
Hey, what happened to the janitor throw?
They complained yesterday.
What?
They complained.
They've been complaining
It's
for
too
a
long.
while.
Yeah.
It's too long.
That's why they said. That's
what
why
they
he said
said.
it.
Too long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too long.
So
Okay.
Marsh got it right down. Nice job, Marsh.
All right.
Thanks.
Listen to the people.
I try.
Man of the people.
Okay, so what we need,
It's Mason Wynn here.
we need a shortstop, we need a center fielder, we need a catcher.
I would say
You know what I did? I did what you did yesterday.
What's that?
I wrote Contreras and a catcher.
I would say, do you put Pages here or do you put Victor Scott here?
So we all think it's some version of
Scott, Pages,
Scott,
Wynn.
Pages, and Wynn. Yeah. So I think Ollie would probably do Pages, then Scott, then Wynn.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead.
Show us Pedro Pages.
Smithies, throw this at him. You're out!
Maybe.
You think Scott here?
Victor
This is what
Scott.
I think,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Gary.
Show us Victor Scott.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
All right, batting ninth. Show us. All I do is win, win, win.
Second! Bring me that out!
There we go.
Marsh, run it.
All right, leading off in left field, Lars Nootbaar. Batting second, first baseman Wilson Contreras. Batting third, second baseman Nolan Gorman. Your cleanup hitter, third baseman Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth, the DH Alec Burleson. Batting sixth in right field, Jordan Walker. Batting seventh, catching Pedro Pages. Batting eighth in center field, Victor Scott II. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Mason Wynn.
Back. Stay fair! Stay fair, stay fair!
Go foul, go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
All right, time to play the home run game. Marsh, what do we got for standings?
It's still the same. Nobody had Wilson Contreras last night. So,
3 for you,
3 for Carey?
1 for Carey.
No. Carey has 3.
Gary has 3. Marsh has 1.
No. We both have 3. We both had Brendan Donovan hitting home runs, respectively.
I don't think so.
I don't think I did.
Oh, that's right. I keep
Yeah, you
thinking
keep
that you
giving
did.
it.
You
Yeah,
can, now, if you do it one more time, I'm going to take
Man,
it.
I keep giving him Brendan Donovan.
You do.
So, Diggs.
Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know.
You give it to me too many times, we're going to keep it. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not
so
giving it to you at all anymore, Carey.
I do have one. I believe it's
That's what I
Nolan
said.
Arenado.
It was,
was.
yes. It was
We've got-
Arenado.
I've got nothing.
I have 1.
Yeah, you
I hit
both
it
have
opening.
1.
I hit it opening
I have
day
one.
with
Oh, yeah.
Arenado.
Who did I get it with?
You haven't gotten any.
Ah,
You're 0.
crap.
Yeah.
All right, well,
So again, Marsh, you're 3.
Sorry,
CD
Carey.
1. Me 1. Jamie Gooser.
I think Pedro Pages hits a home run tonight, so I'll go Pedro Pages.
All right, Carey.
You know what? He almost hit one a couple of days ago. Give me Jordan Walker.
Hometown kid. I guess there's two hometown kids, right? Victor Scott's
Hitting
also
ball hard.
Georgia kid. Give me Gorman.
Ah, you piece of crap.
Thank you.
I'll go with Newt. Give me Lars Nootbaar.
Newt. For Jamie. All right. Marsh took Pedro Baez. Carey took Jordan Walker. I took Nolan Gorman. And Jamie, to try to get on the board, Lars Nootbaar. Do we underestimate the loss of Dylan Holloway and the impact on this team? Or does the Blues' offensive issues go beyond Holloway? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, 2 locations serving the St. Louis area now. The original location out there in Florissant, Missouri, and the new, brand new Londoff Autoplex located out in St. Peters, right off of Highway 70. You're going to love both locations. They have great inventory, whether you're looking for brand new vehicles or pre-owned. They have great selections for whatever you're driving, SUV, pickup truck, minivan. They've got you covered. They've got financing, too, for everyone. They also give you more cash for your trade-in than anyone else. That's actually the Londoff guarantee. They will beat any price anybody else gives you for your vehicle on a trade-in. So please, check them out in person. I've been a customer for over 25 years and know exactly what it's like to experience purchasing a vehicle at Londoff Chevrolet, and it's great. My children have vehicles there, and the customer service is fantastic. In fact, when you buy a vehicle, the moment you leave, they're scheduling you for your first oil change so you can take care of your car and doesn't have things that go wrong with it. That way you don't have to be in the service shop at Londoff Chevrolet. They do a great job of making sure that things are priced right and accordingly, and they are always there to take care of you. That's why they are the Londoff family. So please stop by either location. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. If not, visit them online at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Did we underestimate the loss of Dylan Holloway and his impact on the team, or there are issues for the Blues offensively? Does it go beyond that? I think that the answer to this is probably yes. But
wait, what? Yes to what?
Yes.
To what?
We underestimated the loss of Dylan Holloway, and the Blues' issues offensively go beyond Dylan Holloway.
I don't know about that.
Do you think it's just Holloway?
I think it's just Holloway.
So you think that Holloway's missing piece for Thomas, Buchnevich, Neighbors, Snuggie, everybody playing better?
Hear me out.
Okay.
If we go back to just the hypothetical world here, Holloway's not hurt. Go back to Neighbors, Thomas, Buch. You have Holloway, Shen, Kyrou.
Yeah.
Then you could have Bolduc, Sonny, Snuggerud as your third line, and then your WTF line. That right there is three lines that can score. And all you did is add one piece. And right now, because that one piece is missing, you're force-feeding players into certain situations where they may not be equipped to play. And what I don't like right now is that the third line, listen, I love Oscar Sundqvist. He's a great player. He's a Stanley Cup champion and all that, but he's not a playmaking center for a guy like Bolduc. And then Matthew Joseph is not a playmaking guy either. So that's why Boldy's kind of on an island on that third line. And all you need to do is add a Snuggerud, and all of a sudden that line becomes an offensive threat. You have two young guys that can score, fly around, and a very dependable centerman in Oscar Sundqvist who wins faceoffs. So for me, the missing piece that brings it all back together is Dylan Holloway.
Do you think that generates offense in front of the net as well? Because I brought up the danger, the high danger scoring chance opportunities.
We focus so much on the net front. I get it, and it's an area of concern. But if you had guys that are offensively gifted like this, they're going to find the net front. So if you had Neighbors, Thompson, and Buchnevich, you're going to get there. They did it. They did it post Four Nations. Shen, Kyrou, and Holloway. We know they did it, and there's no doubt in my mind that Bolduc and Snuggerud could do it alongside with Sundqvist. I just think that right now you've lost that balance without Holloway, and it's really affected your depth of scoring because it's affected the second line because he's not on it, and because you've had to displace other players, now it's affected the third line. So Holloway missing has affected two lines in the middle of your 12-man forward group. The WTF line, I don't touch them. They know their job. They do it well.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, we don't expect a lot of goals from them, but they certainly contribute in a huge way. So for me, it sounds so simple. Oh, it's just Holloway. It's not just Holloway. It's a player of that stature.
Sure.
And then it's the trickle-down effect of how you could balance out your lines from there. And if somebody wanted to push back and say, well, Snuggie was really, really good with Thomas and Buchnevich, that's fine. Put Snuggie up there and put Jake Neighbors down with Bolduc and Oscar Sundqvist. Either way, your three lines in are way more balanced.
I think his physicality is missed right now, and I think the way that he can extend his shifts and keep that puck and the pressure on a team inside their defensive zone while you're making line changes, I think is severely missed right now, and it's something that you don't really see while it's happening until you are missing it. Yeah. I think I've been banging this drum for 3 or 4 weeks now that I think he makes players better too. I think he's that type of player.
Okay. And if he doesn't come back, then you can't just chalk it up to, all right, well, we're donezo here.
No, I don't think anybody's doing that.
You've been in both games.
Well, at least moving
forward.
Moving forward into next season, hey, you kind of got a hell of a team.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I have to adjust something here from the 910. Is Jamie not allowed to say the Blues just aren't that good? If it were the Cardinals, he'd be saying how bad they are. Okay, first of all, the Cardinals aren't anywhere near the playoffs. If the Cardinals snuck into the playoffs after an epic run, I'd be saying, hey, pretty good team. They got there. Let's give them a break. They're playing the best team in baseball right now. Let's say they had to play the Dodgers first round.
Yeah.
Playing the best team in baseball. It is what it is, right? I'm not saying that the Blues... I just literally talked about how the power play was stagnant at the end of the game. They aren't getting to the net front. I didn't really particularly like 11-7 in the lineup. I don't know how much more honest I can possibly be.
Yeah.
So I'm not sitting here with blue-colored glasses on. I know what's ahead of us. We're down 2-0 to the best team in hockey. The odds are stacked against you. But at the same time, we haven't played a home game yet.
It also doesn't make any sense to rant and rave about the Blues not winning the first 2 games. It's not like they lost 6-1 and 7-1. You know, it's not like they're down 2-0 because they've gotten blown out in both instances. This is what it is. They snuck into the playoffs because of that 12-game run. They held on. It took all 82 games to get into the playoffs. The Jets, top team in the NHL. So we can't necessarily, oh, this is just ridiculous. The Blues are terrible, and this, that, and the other
that's
thing.
That's what they want to hear. Trust me, I'm reading it right now.
But
the Blues suck. There we go.
What were your expectations coming into this series? I mean, it could have won both games.
They could have won.
In fact, the game one. Marsh, you asked me yesterday. You're like, hey, did you think that the Blues were going to lose? Now, what you meant was after the Jets had tied it with about 6 or 7 minutes left in the game in game one. But I felt as though going in that the Blues were going to take that game. And when they scored, I certainly was excited. And then in the third period, I thought they were going to do it. The third period hasn't been enough, but they went into a hostile environment against the top team in the NHL. And so far, we're talking about ways that they could still get back into the series. So to Jamie's point, I don't know really what you're looking for here outside of team stinks, they lost.
That's what they want to hear. They want to hear me go, they're terrible. They'll never do. That's awful. The season's a failure. They were 8 points out of a playoff spot, 4 nations.
You said it. It's done.
It's over. We're done. Yeah. That's it, guys.
No,
let's talk about the Cardinals tomorrow. That sounds more positive.
Yeah, no, let's talk Blues. They're in the playoffs. I think
with
Dylan Holloway, they don't stink. They're playing the best team in the league right now, and they are down 2-0 in 2 games on their home ice. So Blues get home this week, and hopefully they get to change things around. I think the reason why I thought about this topic because with the Blues, we've seen them deal with injuries pretty well. You saw him deal with Colton Parayko's injury pretty well. They've had Nick Leddy missed a lot of time. Robert Thomas missed a lot of time. Broberg missed time. Like, you've seen all of these players miss time throughout the year, but I feel like this injury, and maybe it's because things were finally clicking with the 12-game win streak and things were going in the right direction. You finally had all the lines correct. Buchnevich was not playing center anymore. He was at the wing. Like, everything seemed to be falling into place, and then Dylan Holloway gets hurt, and you're 2-5 since that injury in games he hasn't played in. And I just wondered if we didn't take into consideration, partially because you've had so many other players injured throughout the year and they just kept chugging along. It feels like this injury versus this team could be potentially too much. And then we heard JR say yesterday, not our JR, but still our JR, not Jamie Rivers, but Jeremy Rutherford, say that Dylan Holloway may be out for the entire playoffs. Who knows? Like, you don't know. Even if they make it past this round, he might not be there. If they make it to the Stanley Cup final, he might not be there. So just taking into consideration how impactful his play has been all year, and now that he's not in the lineup, Jamie, you talked about that additional scoring. Like, you're missing that in 5-on-5. You're missing his ability and what he's capable of doing with him not being here.
I think the frustration from fans is that these games are so close and that they don't have that extra punch, which is the Dylan Holloway. If we go back to when they played the Predators, right, they're down in that game. Who brought them back to life? Dylan Holloway. He has that capability to change the game. I think he's a game changer, a game breaker, as, what you could have in NFL Street. You remember playing that game. Game breaker. That's what Dylan Holloway is for me for the Blues. And it's unfortunate. Like, what do fans want? Do they want to get blown out? Would you rather get blown out and just be like, we didn't have it?
I think they would.
Irrational.
I think some people, I think
irrational.
they're irrational, but I think they'd like to be able to go, see, I told you, it was all just crap. It was a lie. It was a mirage. No, it was true. I knew it. They stink. So do the Cardinals. So do the Battlehawks.
You're basically saying,
and so does City SC.
They're the fan in Major League.
Whoa, they didn't lose either.
They didn't lose.
Where are they in the standings, I guess?
They didn't win either.
I think they're 0-12.
One thing we can't forget, too, is Dylan Holloway is the obvious one out with an injury. I guarantee there are other guys that are injured right now that are playing through it. And that same thing could be said about the Winnipeg Jets, too. So it is what it is. This Blues team has yet to play a game on home ice. We haven't. Let's go back to 2019. Blues took the first 2 games in Winnipeg. We thought the series was over. Winnipeg came into St. Louis and took the next two.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, we're back to even. I'm not saying that will happen, but it has happened before.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is, and I tweeted this out last night, I hope it doesn't become a 2021 series against the Avalanche, which was the series coming out of COVID where they got swept, because those two games, they were tight games in game 1 and 2 on the road. And then Avalanche got a couple empty netters. The score doesn't really look that way, but if you remember how those games went, they were close. Bennington was playing really good. And then it just seemed like the Blues lost some steam and ended up getting swept. I just hope it doesn't become one of those things where the Blues lose their steam. But I think this team is different. I think it's constructed different. I think they have a real opportunity to at least take one of these games at home, because they've been so good at home as of recent.
So I do have a question, and me and Jamie are fighting over who gets to go first. I don't know if we have the same question.
I don't know.
If the Blues do get swept, not that we want them to, knock on wood.
I think we're thinking the same
if
thing.
If they do get swept against the best team in the damn league, down one of their best players, are we really going to say, "Oh, you guys are like that"? Is nonsense. That is
Carey, think of how many people actually thought we'd be in this position.
That's ridiculous to me, to feel like if they do get swept. Again, what did the Winnipeg Jets, how many games, how many points did they have?
Oh, they had 116.
Was there any team that had more than them?
No.
Oh, that was the best?
The best.
Okay, so if you lose to that team, and you do get swept, and you're a young team that wasn't even supposed to be in the damn playoffs right now, the nonsense for people to say, damn it, Blues, you're the damn you, Blues, damn you, why would you do this to me? Shut the fast lane up.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. People want to see more hockey because they don't want to have to watch what the Cardinals are
doing. Or are
doing.
they just miserable, Marshy? Some people are miserable.
That's all I'm saying.
Some people get up every day and they look for other people's failures so they can point the finger and go, "Ha! Told you so." But you know why? Because they feel crappy about their life.
Come on,
and they want something else to complain about.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Be better.
But the Blues are right there. They're right there. I think that's where the frustration is. The Blues are right there. We've had two really close games.
Son of a basket of biscuits.
Well, you don't want to celebrate a loss, but you should look.
Not to celebrate the season.
I'm not arguing with you.
Jesus, Marshy.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to tell you what people might be thinking and expressing right now.
I feel like you're trying to represent the people. And if you are, then you're going to feel the wrath. That's it.
What happened to, I just want to win? That's all I've been hearing from you guys for the past who knows how many weeks.
Win, but you understand that sometimes you run into a damn bear, man. And if you run into a bear, you're going to get 8. And that happens. And it's you in this scenario, you get back up and you'll be able to do it again next year. Not saying that the season is over. But I'm saying, no, it's not over. But it's no shame in losing to the damn best team in the league.
But what
are we doing?
Don't get upset at people for being frustrated.
I will be upset because
I'm going to be upset for irrational fools.
It's irrational.
Do not get upset at people for being frustrated that Pavel Buchnevich was puck watching last night and they scored the game-winning goal to make it 2-1. Don't be upset at people for being frustrated about that. That's the whole point of being a fan.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have even been in that situation.
They played well enough to be in that situation.
But nobody thought they were going to. And everyone's going to be happy with playing meaningful games down the stretch. Now it's like, if they don't win the Stanley Cup, I'm out. I'm burning my Blues jersey.
I think it's the way that they're losing is why people are frustrated.
Oh, they're losing by a goal? That's frustrating.
Damn it, Blues! Be better!
I'm not saying that.
Win the whole damn thing, I'm going to lose it.
By the way, can I read a text?
It's not what I'm saying.
From the 573. Did CD just go full Southern Baptist?
Yeah. Shout out to my great-grandfather. Yes. My pastor growing up. You better believe it.
I love it.
All right. What's trending is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Hot topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, you heard the harmonicas for the national anthem last night in Los Angeles. The Blues, they had Gloria. The Blues now have Jobu. The Angels had the Rally Monkey. The Cardinals had the Rally Squirrel. And now I think the Kings have the harmonicas, and they win game one last night. Very epic game. Edmonton comes back. They tie the game, but the Kings get it done. Was it the harmonicas? Was it the play on ice? Who knows?
Marshy, can you do me a favor and play that again, please?
Would you like the full version or what I played before?
Let me set the stage, first of all, for our listeners. You saw a couple of nights ago the first game in Winnipeg. The whiteout, people in the streets, chaos, pandemonium. I mean, it was so loud in there that John Kelly and I could barely hear each other on headsets.
Wow.
Now, Enterprise Center, we know what that's going to be like come Thursday night. It's going to be chaos because it's the first home playoff game. And we're going to have whoever sings the national anthem. I don't know who they're going to come out, whether it's Pritchard, Owens, or if it's going to be the OG himself. I'm not sure. Who knows? But I will say the house will come down because they're ready to go. It's like Braveheart, freedom! And then you've got the LA Kings, their first game at home, and this is what they play.
Yeah.
Got the fans going.
I mean, aren't you ready to go through a wall right now?
Maybe that was the plan. You get the fans involved. Like the fans they turned up.
The Kings, rather, sorry, Carey, got up, 4-1 or 4-0, I think is what they were up at one point. I think it's because the Oilers were still half asleep from the harmonicas. They're like, oh, it's so soothing.
Do you guys ever see when you're like flipping through Instagram and you get the one person that's playing almost like the recorder or something?
Yes!
That's what it sounds
Have your
like.
kids done that yet, by the way?
Oh, man.
No, not yet. Yeah.
Good luck.
Just wait till Mary had a little lamb 4,000 times.
Man, the recorder.
Beep, 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 beep. Beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep. Oh, wrong one, Dad. I got to start over.
By the way, those harmonicas brought to you by ESPN, who had the game last night.
ESPN, yeah.
So, the Oilers were down 4-0 before they decided to bring themselves into the game. And then they come back and tie it 5-5 with, at 18:32 of the third period.
How'd they end up, Jamie?
They lost at 19-18 of the third period. They thought they're going to overtime. Not so fast.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my goodness. Too much.
Speaking of hockey, though, and a team that is not in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the New York Islanders, they will not renew Lou Lamoriello's deal, and they will seek a new general manager. That's big-time news.
Yeah, so Lou Lamoriello, I think he's 82, 83 years old, and he's an icon. When it comes to USA hockey, he's been around forever. Several Stanley Cups with the New Jersey Devils. Very well-respected man in hockey. But it was time. His old school rules and things that he implemented, like very much along the same lines as George Steinbrenner, and even more so over the top with some of his employees and the way they had to conduct themselves, the way they were allowed to communicate with each other and not communicate. And it was very structured, bordering on insanity. Okay, he's very military, so you can see how it all work together. But Lou Lamoriello, it's time for him to enjoy the sport of hockey, not work in it, but hats off to him to an incredible career and just the amount of great hockey players he's helped create, draft, develop, all that stuff. I mean, it's been a great career.
Oh, we got a text from the 314. Break out the kazoos. Do you remember the kazoo?
Mm-hmm.
Kazoo.
The Great Kazoo?
No, that was the Great Gazoo.
Ah, yes, that's right.
That was the little green guy with the big head.
Mm-hmm.
Who,
Was it
Gumby?
Jetsons?
No, the Flintstones.
Flintstones, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Great Gazoo.
That's right.
Yeah. That was my favorite episodes with him and them.
And why? Like, why did they bring him in?
I don't even remember how he even became a part of it because they're prehistoric and he was an alien.
Exactly. Like, that would make more sense, I think, for the Jetsons.
The Jetsons,
Who
totally.
lived in the future, but maybe the aliens,
Maybe it's how they were going to cross over at
Right.
one point. The Jetsons or the Flintstones move in with the Jets, but they'd have to time
Didn't they do that one time?
Well,
I don't know.
Somebody
There
built the pyramids. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So maybe they were onto something. Maybe, I'm not saying who.
Gazoo?
Did anybody ever think that Wilma and Betty were just far too hot for Fred and Barney?
No, they're funny.
Maybe
Slim pickings
That's
back then.
exactly.
Yeah,
CD, you
not a lot.
beat me to it.
Maybe, but then they were in shape. They took care of themselves. And
that was the
Fred
look
and
then.
Barney, not so much.
No.
Rugged. They were men's men.
I mean, they were moving those boulders a
Yeah,
lot.
they were
so
strong.
They were strong.
I
don't know, Jamie.
Just
That's pretty good.
the thought has crossed my mind at one point. I was like, you guys are out kicking your coverage. You should probably be a little nicer to the women.
That's true. Very true.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're funny guys. Like, women like humor.
They do.
They do.
And strong guys.
They do.
You know?
Are you kidding me? You know how hard it is to run a car? Like, they had no
feet
They
on.
were in good
Yeah.
shape. They
With
were
your
strong
feet.
and they were in
Yeah.
good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had hot wives, and the kid Bam Bam probably at some point became a big leaguer.
Yeah, the Cardinals could
assuming.
use that kind of slug, right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, they'll look for their next Bam Bam at some point, I'm sure.
Bam,
bam.
They're right on it.
Bam, 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 bam.
All right, it's Fascinating on 101 ESPN. Speaking of the Cardinals, Ollie said something, I think it was last night, that piqued Jamie's interest when it came to the growth of this team, or lack thereof. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you have not visited Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership, what are you waiting for? Stop in today for exclusive in-store offers. They have the largest selection of new Genesis models in stock and ready for you to take home today. Some of those models have massaging seats. Imagine driving 20, 30 minutes, getting a massage in your ride. You will enjoy it. Experience luxury service at the brand new facility located at 5601 Veteran Memorial Parkway in St. Peters, Missouri, right off of Mid Rivers Mall and 70. And if you don't see the model or the color you want, they can help you find it and help you build your dream Genesis. If you were busy, can't get in, maybe you don't want to stop in, maybe you got a bunch of things to do and you never have to step foot in their store, you can buy your new Genesis completely online with clear upfront pricing, including your trade, and even have it delivered up to 100 miles. All you need to do is visit them today at genesisofstcharles.com. Again, it's Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership. Visit genesisofstcharles.com and you can get it done today.
Here for Green Envy, the company you need to
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So this audio that you're about to hear is from the Cardinals radio network, KMOX, and it was from the Gas House Gang. And this was something, at least toward the end, that piqued Jamie's interest. Here's Ollie Marmol.
The worst thing you could do is get frustrated with this group in a way that leads to stunting their development or young guys starting to play tight or whatever the case may be. But when you look at each guy individually and the growth that's taken place, and we've talked about this in the offseason, spring training, early this year, it has a chance to win. But you have to continue to develop these guys and give them the opportunities that we've talked about all the way through. So I'm with you. But you look at what some of these guys are doing offensively and the approach they're taking and the growth there on the pitching side as well. And there's going to be days where, man, it doesn't look good, or you lose a game. Like we played in New York. It was the way I described it was a very youthful game. There's certain opportunities that a veteran club would have took advantage of, and our guys will learn from it. And hopefully by June, July, they are taking advantage of those situations. But it was a youthful loss in the way it went down. They still played the game well, but there's opportunities to take a couple while we were there.
So, Jamie, there was one part in particular that you picked up on.
Yeah, just that you have to stay the course with the development. Like you can't just lump it all into one thing. It reminded me of what the Blues were trying to communicate to Blues fans probably a year ago. 2 years ago, it was tough because they liquidated. Mm-hmm. And last year is when they started experimenting with Bolduc came up, Zach Dean came up, Tyler Tucker, Matthew Kessel. Like you had this group of younger players that they were kind of putting in and out of the lineup, just like Ollie's having to deal with. Mm-hmm. So the Cardinals, if we can, pause for a second. Are the Cardinals where the Blues, this year, where the Blues were last year? Because a lot of the pieces are there. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not perfect. And the part that stinks is that for all the positional players who are playing very well offensively, they can't help the rotation or the bullpen.
Right.
So if pitching is really the main focus going into the deadline and the offseason, this little retool might be quicker than we think. For the Cardinals, it might be. It may be another 5 years. I'm not sitting here today predicting when the Cardinals will be back in the playoffs, but their offense is legit. Mm-hmm. It is. It's slowed down. It's dropped a little bit from the very, but it's still, in my opinion, on the upper half of all of baseball overall. Like when all's said and done, they'll be 14th or 13th in baseball, in my opinion. If that's the case, then you're closer than what you thought you were. Mm. And so Ollie's got to. He has the tough task, like Drew Bannister did, of trying to manage the expectations versus the development, and obviously team success, too.
Right.
So I felt like that was a little reminder from Ollie of where the directives are at right now for him as a manager of this ball club, and also not to get too frustrated or get too high or too low with some of the process right now. Mm-hmm. And then maybe the Cardinals are in a situation next year. I'm not going to say they're going to make the playoffs like the Blues did this year because it took an epic run. But we talked about coming into this season for the Blues playing meaningful games in the last 2 weeks of the season. Maybe the Cardinals are in that boat next year. But you can see clearly by what Ollie's saying that there is a specific direction. Now, Ollie's, by the way, is the only one to actually talk about a specific direction in the entire organization. But at least we're hearing about it a little bit.
Yeah. Carey?
Well, I agree. I think you have to... You have to be honest about where your team is, similar to what we were talking about with the Blues, where they are right now, playing the best team in the National Hockey League. When you're the Cardinals and you're a team that is mainly young at your position players, we keep getting texts all day and night. Well, the pitchers aren't young at all. They all are over 30. Okay, true. Yeah. That's fine. Right. Eventually, they'll be younger because 2 or 3 of those guys won't be in the rotation next year, and you'll have some younger guys come up. But in terms of your position players, and he said that was a young game. That was a game there. If you are an older team, a more veteran-led team, you probably don't make some of the mistakes that were made in that Mets series or in that specific Mets game that he was talking about. And these are the things you have to deal with when you have a young team.
Yeah.
You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have mishaps. You're going to have, but it's all growing pains. It's all things that you learn from, where if you don't get a chance to make these mistakes, you don't get better going forward. Jimmy Snuggerud is a perfect example. Let him play. Bull Duke is a perfect example. He got opportunities to play. Jake Neighbors last year got opportunities to play. And when you do get an opportunity to play, you either sink or you swim.
Right.
And the only way you know what you have is to actually let somebody. It's always, I say this all the time, oh, you don't have enough experience. I can't hire you. Well, how the hell did I get experience if nobody ever hires me?
That was frustrating coming out of the game, wasn't it?
That's the dumbest thing in the world, man.
Well, you don't really have any experience.
Yeah,
no kidding.
No kidding.
Right.
So yeah, that to me is where the Cardinals are, and they're learning, and they'll get better from it.
I think the Cardinals are further away from where the Blues were a year ago. That's my thought on this.
Okay, what leads you to believe that?
So I think that
apart from like obvious things that they're losing, the Blues were losing last year too.
The architect, for one.
But who is the architect right now?
Exactly. The architect for the Blues is Doug Armstrong, who had vision, and the architect now for the Cardinals, so the guy that has been in charge, we see massive holes in this organization.
But he's no longer in charge. So don't be fooled.
So when he does take over, when Bloom, okay, so let's just say Bloom has already taken over.
Okay.
I don't know enough about Bloom like I do about Army to suggest that they could fast track this like the Blues. Like Army made two swift ass moves with Holloway and Broberg.
It's pretty aggressive. Yeah.
The other reason here too is the Cardinals have scattered talent. They're not a team, and I think until like the texters are bringing up with Carey, until they do collect more talent from a pitching standpoint, then they can put the team together. But I think now we're just looking at scattered talent, which is why we're seeing so many highs and lows. We're excited about Victor Scott, but we're frustrated by X, Y, and Z. I think they've got scattered talent.
But it's kind of where the Blues were last year, because you still had some dead weight on the roster last year.
Sure.
You started out, you had Jacob Verana, and he was Kapanen, you had Kevin Hayes. For all intents and purposes, you still had Brandon Saad, who wasn't the player he once was before. You had, I hate to use the word dead weight, you had some items that you could clear out. I think the Cardinals have items that they can still clear out. And in this particular situation would be some of the pitching.
Sure.
The Michaelis, the Matts, the whoever in the bullpen. Like, you've got some items that you need to move on from. But if you look at the bulk of their lineup, like Lars Nootbaar's playing a pretty good season so far.
Yeah.
Brendan Donovan, I think we'd all admit, is having a good season. Alec Burleson probably could have a better season going right now. He's not firing the way he should be. Contreras not the way he should be. But if they all start to play to their potential, or even close to it, it's not bad.
I think if they all play to their potential, you got a good offense. That I think is where. Okay, but then
so when you say good
I'm
offense, by the counter to that is your defense, right? But do you mean defense in the field or pitching?
I mean offense, just the offense. I don't even know.
But the counter to that is, so then they have a bad defense, is what you're saying.
They have bad run prevention.
Which is?
With pitching, defense, and I mean all the pitching.
Do you think they're bad defensively?
They're better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, me too.
So there's and we're talking about they're not even having their best defender, which is Mason Wynn.
True.
But from a run prevention standpoint, I don't believe that the starting pitching is going to continue to do what it's doing. Maybe the bullpen and the starting pitching flip at some point. The bullpen
they always do every year. It's weird.
Exactly. So I don't. That's why I say
that's my point, Anthony.
I think they got scattered talent.
I think it's isolated. I think the problem for the Cardinals, which I think is a good thing, is it's isolated to the pitching. Call it the rotation.
It sounds like you and I are saying the same thing.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. I'm just making it like, I'm not talking about their defense in the field errors and things like that.
But I think we're saying they don't have a team yet. But what you're saying is at least it's isolated to what they do need.
I feel like you can hyper-focus now on what you need.
That's fair.
To become a above-average team / playoff contending team, just like we wanted out of the Blues. Baby steps. Now they took a giant step by making the playoffs this year. But I think if you rectify the pitching situation, maybe McGreevy, Graceffo, Quinn Matthews, maybe those guys are in next year. Maybe you've got some good arms in the bullpen next year. And if you rectify that just a little bit, maybe this team is in the second place. Like they're right there now.
I think and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're saying is those pitchers, where the Blues were 2 years ago or last year and where the Cardinals are now, it's kind of like Kevin Hayes and Kasperi Kapanen and Jacob
on the pitching
Vrana.
staff.
Right.
That's right.
Right. And so you move those guys out, and then you bring in, which is Miles Mikolas, which is Eric Fetty potentially, and Steven Matz, or, those three guys. Like, you move on from those three guys and you bring in younger talent, which is what the Blues did, moving on from those three players and bringing in younger talent. And now you have a different team. So
assuming they get Broberg and Holloway.
Correct. Assuming that McGreevy is Broberg or Holloway. I think that's kind of
that's
kind of the comparison that I think Jamie was going with.
Oh, I totally get it.
It's what I'm doing.
You can clear out the dead bushes and all the debris at some point, though. If you don't have the new stuff growing in, you're just gonna have soil, and that's it. So I think that, Jamie, I totally get what you're saying.
I just don't think it's as daunting as it might seem at times, but only if Chaim Bloom is willing to get aggressive, only if the DeWitts are willing to spend a little bit of money in the offseason, because I think your rotation next year can be pretty close to cost controlled, but your bullpen, then you might have to shell out to protect those young arms in the rotation. This is my opinion. I just don't think it's that far off.
That's Jamie Rivers. That's Carey Davis. Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. How can the Blues, without Dylan Holloway, find more offense in this series? Jamie will tell you next on 101 ESPN.
What?
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues fall to the Jets last night. They now trail in the series 2-0. However, they have a shot to get one on the board as they take on the Jets on Thursday at home. You can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7:30. Puck drop is at 8:30. We'll talk with Joe Vitale at 5:15, so stay tuned for that. Also, last night, the Cardinals lost to the Atlanta Braves by a final score of 7-6. First pitch tonight in Atlanta is at 6:15. Andre Palante on the mound going up against Scott Blewett. We are going to dive back into your Blues after they lost in Game 2. That's coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for a Blues playoff report presented by English Sweep Fireplace and Chimney Restoration. Schedule your chimney inspection at EnglishSweep.com.
I think as a group, we're not happy to be down 2-0, but the games are really close. There's not much separation going on right now. We need to make a separation. We need to find another level here when we go home so that we can end up on top by a goal.
That was Jim Montgomery following last night's loss in Winnipeg. The Blues are now 18-1. They have an 18-1 record when leading or tied heading into the third period. Only one loss in that stretch when tied after 2 to Winnipeg. Outscored 4-0 in the third period of Games 1 and Games 2. And as we've talked about, the Jets' top line just torching the Blues right now. We discussed the loss of Dylan Holloway and what that has meant to the Blues. Jamie, you had a full breakdown of that and really the domino effect that has occurred with this Blues offense. But for all intents and purposes, it doesn't look like Dylan Holloway is going to return anytime soon. So how can the Blues find more offense in this series without Holloway? What do you think the key is?
Well, more offensive zone time for sure. I find the Blues when they start to struggle, start to go sideways with the puck a little bit. And it's natural because you're looking for something new to try and whatnot. But even in a couple of their power play zone entries last night, after the first goal that they scored on the power play, Winnipeg after that just started sealing off the blue line, where as soon as the Blues cross the blue line, they make this little 4-foot pass sideways. And the Jets are already in motion angling that puck carrier, so all he has to do is skate past that guy and angle the next guy. Mm-hmm. We used to call that a dead pass, meaning you're handing your crap off to somebody different, and it's still crap. And then you're in a puck battle, 1-on-2 on the wall. Like, those pucks at that point, never mind going that 2-foot pass sideways, put it down into the corner and have two guys get on the puck and retrieve the puck. And when you get into the zone, then you can create more offense. I think they have to put more pucks to the net, too. Like, I understand the quality over quantity and all that, and you don't just want to be shooting the puck from crazy places because a guy like Connor Hellebuck, odds are you're not beating him from the boards anytime soon. But you can cause some havoc when you get bodies in front and put pucks there. Like we've seen, like the one shot from Zach Bolduc went off of Braden Schen's or Luke Schen's shin pad back to Oscar Sundqvist in Game 1. He scored. Mm-hmm. If Boldy waits and for the perfect play and doesn't put that puck on that goal doesn't happen.
Right.
Look at the Jets. Mark Scheifele makes a pass across, goes off of Ryan Suter's stick up over the shoulder of Jordan Binnington, and ends up being a goal. Mark Scheifele drives to the net front, gets met by Jimmy Snuggerud. They both hammer into each other. Puck goes off Snuggerud, both right through, and Jordan Binnington can't stop the puck. That's another goal. Mm-hmm. So, like, you got to get there. Iafallo in the first game to tie the game 3-3. Scheifele just puts the puck towards the net, goes off the side of the net, off Jordan Binnington's pad. Iafallo puts in the rebound. That's how the Jets are doing it. I always talk about pucks and bodies to the net. Funnel pucks and bodies to the net.
Right.
They need more of that. Now, the Jets, to their credit, Luke Schenn, Sandberg, Stanley, these are big physical defensemen. They're making it difficult for your team to get to those areas, but I don't really care. I don't care. You got to get there. You got to find a way to get there. You got to challenge them. And quite honestly, I almost welcome a net front battle, but then my teammates have to put the puck there. Causes chaos. Puck that hits the shin pads, drops in your feet. Everybody's whacking at it. Connor Hellebuyck can't make a beautiful save at that point. He's in scramble mode. He's just at that point trying to protect the net at all cost, which means he can't make a stylistic save. What I mean by that is he can't make a clean save. Odds are the puck's going to stay in play somewhere, and that's when you can try and find a home for it. I just think that the Blues have to muck it up a lot more, turn this game less pretty and more blue collar, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There was a couple of times that Jim Montgomery discussed getting to the net. He called it net hungry, is what he described it as. You got to be more net hungry in the games moving forward. You know, Blues managed his one rebound attempt at 5-on-5 in game 2. That goes back to what you were saying, Jamie, about the power play. Yeah, the last one didn't look good, but the power play in this series has been top-notch for the Blues.
It's hard to complain.
But the 5-on-5 plays where they're getting beat.
And predictable, too. Remember, like, Chief used to talk about playing predictable. And just because Chief's no longer the coach of the Blues doesn't mean he doesn't know what hockey is. Toronto Maple Leafs playing pretty good, by the way. But being predictable. So you have a rush up the ice. And Jake Neighbors did it yesterday, and it actually ended up to where it turned into a bit of an opportunity. Jake Neighbors drove the middle and went right into Luke Schenn, and Braden Schenn got an extra second and a half then to try and make a shot. It hit something, bounced back, and Hellebuyck managed to grab the rebound. But had he not been able to, there was another opportunity for Braden Schenn, and it all started because Jake Neighbors, with a solid middle lane drive. The middle lane drive is important because two things. If nobody takes you going to the net, you end up at the net uncovered. So now you just put the puck at the net. You have an opportunity for a deflection, a rebound, or even a screenshot. But most of the time, the defenseman has to take you. And your job as that middle lane drive is to take one of them with you. And what happens is you pull that defenseman back towards his own net, it opens up that space behind him. So now you can make maybe that one cross-ice pass or get a good shot, find a shot lane. But if you don't have a solid middle lane drive where a guy just buries his head and goes to the net, as a defenseman, it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
Because now I can keep that middle guy in front of me. I can keep the puck carrier in front of me. I have to worry about guys behind me. But as soon as that guy drives to the strong side post, everything changes. You have to take him.
Right.
And the Blues got to do more of that. Off their line rushes, what I'm seeing is traditionally you come up the ice, and even if it's wide, you want to keep it wide. If it's middle, you want to get the middle, move it sideways wide, and then middle lane drive, and the puck needs to enter from the wide side. Because now you have board to board as an option for a pass, if that middle lane drive works its way properly and pulls that coverage backwards. Or you have a shot from the outside, which creates an angle. So your far winger gets a chance at a rebound, or if it kicks out to the middle, your middle lane drive has a rebound. And now your defenseman should be joining the rush, becomes that second layer. He might be available for a middle shot.
Yeah.
But the Blues, the last couple of games, they're passing it back to the middle and trying to enter through the middle of the ice. I'm sorry, that's what I always wanted as a defenseman, because now me and my partner, we can close out the middle, and we take you away. So now you're no longer the middle lane drive. You have to push the puck sideways. We've eliminated your speed and your threat at that point.
Yeah.
And now I can close you out on the wall. My forwards are back in time now to pick up the middle lane drive guy, and you're done.
Sure. Carey, this is what I was telling. This is all what I was telling you in the office earlier.
Well, I was going to say,
Sorry,
Jamie
I got too
broke
deep
that
into the
down.
weeds there.
No, I loved it.
He broke it
I
down.
love it.
I'm glad he's been paying attention to the notes I've been leaving on his desk.
It is very much appreciated.
No
Carey.
problem.
Thank you.
Good job.
You don't have anything to add?
I mean, what else? What do you need from me?
Carey, you were telling me about last night, you know, the face-off percentage for the Jets was a little bit higher than the Blues. We saw the Blues in Game 1 have a better face-off percentage, and so you win those face-offs in the offensive zone, you create more offense, and it's no secret the Blues scored more goals in Game 1 than they did in Game 2. So,
well, I noticed.
You know?
Oh, why'd you notice, Anthony?
Somebody may have had
the over?
The over in the at the board.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
You hit both of yours.
I did.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Game 3, Blues and Jets, Thursday night. Pregame at 7:30, puck drop at 8:30. We'll have all the coverage for you right here on 101 ESPN. How does this poor start for the Cardinals impact trade deadline trade deadline candidates like Helsley and Arenado. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Carey, can you share with the class?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
How does this poor start for the Cardinals impact the trade deadline for candidates like Ryan Helsley and for Dylan Holloway? I'll throw Eric Fetty in there as well. If I'm Mo / Bloom / whatever the front office does, Gershie.
Front office anymore.
He's in there.
Special events coordinator.
He's in there.
Isn't he? Was he executive president to
special events.
Special projects.
Special projects.
Come
What
on,
is
there's
special?
a difference.
Like birthdays and stuff.
I think that's more of an event.
That's what that is?
It's an event. It could be an event. Depends on whose birthday it is. Anyways, if I'm the front office for the Cardinals, I am dealing Eric Fetty as soon as I can. I'm waiting till the deadline to hear what the offers are for Ryan Helsley. Ryan Helsley may resign with you. You could totally do an Aroldis Chapman Yankees thing, where you deal him at the deadline because you know you're not a contender, and then he walks right back through the door in free agency. I mean, that's what Aroldis Chapman did.
That's the old Keith Kachuk too.
Yeah, the Yankees dealt Chapman to the Cubs in 2016 and got Gleyber Torres for him, among others. And then Chapman re-signed with the Yankees because that's where he wanted to be in the offseason. Brian Helsley, who grew up a Cardinals fan, wants to do that. You could certainly sell him the highest bidder and then say, hey, we'll be interested in bringing you back. It didn't work with Jordan Hicks. We talked about that with Jordan Hicks, too, and Jordan Hicks wound up leaving in free agency and did not come back. But he was traded and then, hit free agency and didn't come back. But if I'm the front office, if Eric Fetty is not dealt at the deadline, something went horribly wrong.
Yeah,
because he's not going to be here next year. Miles Michaelis, same deal, but I don't know what Miles Michaelis his market is going to look like.
And if you're not anywhere close to a playoff push of any kind, like you just ride it out with Miles Michaelis.
Sure,
I mean,
whatever.
Unless you really feel like he's blocking some of your young talent, then I guess you DFA him because you're
correct.
You're already the cost has already happened.
Exactly. Every time he pitches, it's like you're getting a little bit of that money.
Are you?
Not back, but it's already,
What?
Every time he pitches, it's like, all right, well, we're eating into some of this contract this final year. But I'm making sure that my young guys are getting opportunities. And I think you can look at that pitching staff first and foremost. But if there's a deal to be made for Arenado, I'm revisiting it at any point.
Does the winning or losing impact where these guys go? Because I would – Ryan Helsley isn't going to lead the league in saves this year. More than like – I'm just saying.
Then why is that, Carey?
You got – Anthony, Jamie.
What the?
Anthony.
And Jamie.
Guys.
And Jamie.
And Jamie.
Yeah.
Anthony and Jamie. Anthony, Jamie, Marshy. I'm Carey. In order to lead the league in saves, Jamie, you gotta actually win those games. And so if you're not winning as many games, you probably ain't gonna have as many save opportunities. So yeah, he's probably not gonna lead the league in saves. So I wonder if that impacts his future at the trade deadline. Does Nolan Arenado, if they're not performing well, if he's not hitting, I think he's hitting decently right now, but if they're not hitting with runners in scoring position, because that's just what they're not able to do, not getting on base enough. Like, does that impact his value at the trade deadline? And do you have to wait until the trade deadline?
No.
Can you do it now?
You could do it right now.
Then what? Oh, come on.
Well, you need a
partner.
You need a partner. You need a dance partner.
You can't force anybody to trade with you?
I mean, you could. Mo did that one time to the Colorado general manager for Arenado.
Oh.
But I think that guy was hammered. Eggplant emoji says,
Totally hammered, by the way.
Yeah. Anthony, why would he, being Ryan Helsley, want to come back unless the Cardinals overpay, which they never do? My comment about Helsley was more so to the Cardinals contingency that loves to say, well, why would you trade him? Why'd you trade him? He's got more value, then you still need a closer. You could bring him back in free agency if you want to, is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be a hold on to him for dear life and try to sign him, or trade him and watch him go elsewhere. There are other possibilities. That's why I brought that up. That's all. Marsh, did you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if I'd want to trade him right now, just because I feel like some team will be desperate at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
But the argument to that could be, well, what if something happens and he gets hurt or what? Like you never know, but that's the risk you're willing to go with, right? That's why they didn't trade him in the offseason. But I think I would hold on to him now. They already have bullpen problems right now. I think a huge thing with the retool is that you want to at least win some games, right? Like you don't want to have a losing culture. Mm-hmm. And I don't trust anybody in that bullpen outside of him and maybe Phil Maton, even though he, got hit up yesterday. But
so you don't trust Ryan Fernandez right now, is what you're saying?
I think that's exactly what he's saying.
And why is that?
Yeah,
on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you don't trust him at all.
Yeah,
and 1 being, now you somewhat trust him.
Yeah, Anthony, that's a tough one. Let me 10.
10.
Wow. 10.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood.
Is that too
down?
Harsh?
No, I don't need to write that down.
Okay.
Is it too harsh with the way he's pitching? No, absolutely not.
I don't want to be mean now, but it's not great.
One thing I like to say is you win, we say nice things. You lose, we say mean things. You know what I mean?
Usually how it goes.
Pretty much.
It's life.
Yeah.
And you know why?
Yes, it is.
Because the number one rule in this studio from 2 to 6, nobody's safe.
Nobody's
right.
Yeah.
The number one rule outside of this studio is if you're going to have a lunch or dinner or any sort of celebration, hold it between 2 and 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Any event whatsoever, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's between 2 and 6.
That's correct.
Yeah. It's the only way to do it.
Yep. All right, Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 402. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Joe. What's up, Joe?
How you guys doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Heading home from work.
All right, good man.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, Joe, you get the full show today. Would you like to take on Marsh, Carey, Jamie, or me?
Let's go with Jamie.
Oh,
Jamie
all
Rivers.
right.
Okay, here we go.
All right, Joe. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, so
Thank you too, Joe.
so Jamie's heading to the cone of silence right now. Joe, go ahead and tell Andrew Marsh, spin that wheel.
Marshy, spin that wheel.
All right. What are you hoping for, Joe?
Hockey.
You're hoping for hockey?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't think he was hoping for hockey.
I think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It ain't hockey, though. I'll tell you
is
that. It's foosball today.
Little football action for Joe. How you feel about that, Joe?
I'm okay with football.
Okay. Joe seems confident.
That was good.
You're going to get 4 football questions, Joe. Jamie will receive the same 4 football questions. Each question is worth 2 points, unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, Joe, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Here we go. Through 3 weeks of UFL action, only one running back racked up more rushing yards than the Battlehawks' Jacob Sailors. Name him.
Options.
Day Hunter, Kalen Balaj, or Jarvian Howard?
Jarvian Howard.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 2. Only one UFL team was undefeated through 3 weeks of action. Name that team.
Oh, I didn't see last week. Give me the options.
Is it the
That
DC Defenders, Memphis Showboats, or the Birmingham Stallions?
The Stallions.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 3. The Battlehawks have beaten the San Antonio Brahmas and which other team on the road in week 1?
Oh, the Renegades.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Joe, final question. Running back Kalen Balaj, who was referenced in question 1, has played for 4 NFL teams in his career. For which team did he play the longest, competing in 24 games?
New York Jets.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right. We're going to bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence right now. How you feeling, Joe?
Not good at all.
Okay. All right. Let's see what Jamie has in store for us today. Jamie, fresh from the Cone of Silence. How was it?
Dead silent.
Yeah, like Ryder said, I'm out.
Yeah, he said, I'm out. Nothing going on. Very quiet. No music to be played. Nothing. Kind of boring.
Well, Jamie.
Yeah.
Your category today.
Yep.
Is football.
Okay.
Pack lunch.
Oh, thank you, Carey.
Yeah, you're good.
Question 1. Through 3 weeks of UFL action, again, through 3 weeks of UFL action, only one running back racked up more rushing yards than the Battlehawks' Jacob Sailors. Name him.
So through 3 weeks.
Through 3 weeks.
Because Sailors currently leads the UFL in rushing. So through 3 weeks. Yeah. I was actually just talking about this on the road with the guys, but let's narrow it down. Give me the options, please.
Options are Day Hunter, Kalen Balaj, or Jarvian Howard.
I mean, these are the three guys I was thinking about, too. Yeah. B. It's because the SAT thing, right? Like, is it C or B that you're supposed to take?
It's C.
Is it C? Yeah, but that's if there's four multiples,
there
right?
You go.
So if there's three, it'd be 2. So it'd be B.
Kalen Balazs.
That guy. Final answer.
Final answer.
Only one UFL team was undefeated through 3 weeks of action. Name that team.
There's only 2 teams, I think, that have lost 1 game, so this is tough through 3 weeks. I don't know. Options, please.
Memphis Showboats, Birmingham Stallions, or the DC Defenders?
The DC Defenders. Memphis? You said Memphis?
Memphis Showboats,
yeah.
Birmingham Stallions, or the DC Defenders?
I don't know. I know Memphis was playing well. Birmingham, I think, is tied in first place in their... Give me the Memphis Showboats.
Final answer?
Sure, final answer.
Question number 3. This one's a little bit easier, Jamie. The Battlehawks have beaten the San Antonio Brahmas in which other team on the road in week 1?
And I actually know this one. That was the Roughnecks, the Houston Roughnecks. Final answer, please.
Final question. Running back Kalen Balazs, who was referenced in question 1, has played for 4 NFL teams in his career. For which team did he play the longest, competing in 24 games?
Yeah. The old UFL, 4 questions,
Yep,
guys?
yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Options, please.
Sure. Chargers, Dolphins, Jets.
Chargers, Dolphins, Jets. I have no idea. I mean, it sounds like a Jets thing to do. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Jets, final answer.
Okay.
I have no idea.
All right.
There's no way any of you guys knew these answers either, except maybe the Houston one.
All right, let's go over these. Joe versus...
You didn't know it. You're lying.
Pay attention to my UFL.
You're lying.
Better believe it.
I knew question number 2.
Which one was that?
Oh, let's find out.
Okay.
Let's start off with the last question, though. Running back Kalen Balazs, who was referenced in question 1, has played for 4 NFL teams in his career. For which team did he play the longest, competing in 24 games? Jamie just said the Jets. Joe, without the options, said the Jets. Correct answer is...
Right division, wrong team. Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins is the correct answer. 0-0. 0-0 between Joe and Jamie.
God, I knew it, too.
I know. I know you did. You were right there.
Oh, yeah.
The Battlehawks have beaten the San Antonio Brahmas. And which other team on the road in week 1? Joe, without the option, said the Renegades. Jamie, without the option, said the Houston Roughnecks. Correct answer is...
It's those Houston Roughnecks.
Nice job, Jamie. 2-0. Jamie Rivers.
Might be it.
Only one UFL team was undefeated through 3 weeks of action. Name that team. Joe said the Birmingham Stallions. Jamie said the Memphis Showboats. Correct answer is...
The DC Defenders.
DC Defenders.
They were both 2-0 when they played the Battlehawks. And they won.
It was through the 3 weeks confuses me because I think the DC Defenders have lost now. They're 3-1, I believe.
Well, through 3 weeks, they were 3-0.
Well, Birmingham's 3-1 too. Okay. What the hell you want from me, Carey?
Through 3 weeks of UFL action, only
Birmingham. You picked the Showboats.
I know. I picked the Showboats. I thought they're the outlier.
Okay.
I did the Stalter thing.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
Through 3 weeks of the UFL action, only one running back racked up more rushing yards than the Battlehawks' Jacob Sailors. Name him. Joe said Jarvian Howard.
Sure.
Jamie said Kalen Balazs.
Sure.
Joe.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
Correct answer is
Kalen Balazs.
Kalen Balazs.
It's B, option B.
Jamie wins the pitcher's duel 3-0. Yeah, sorry, Joe. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. See you, buddy.
Sorry, Joe.
Take care.
Have a good one, buddy.
That,
Those are tough.
yeah, that was
That's tough, guys. Honestly, how many would you guys have known?
I would have known
DC Defenders,
2,
the Roughnecks,
3,
and probably the Dolphins.
4. I'd have took the options on 4 though, because once I saw the option, I was like, oh, yeah, he played for the Dolphins. Because I was trying to remember the name.
Yeah.
Like, I see.
I
think
may
he's
have
number
taken
24.
the options.
I'd have took the
and
options.
I knew I would have known it wasn't the Chargers.
I'd have probably got 5.
I gave you the best I had, guys.
You did great. You got 3.
You won.
You got 3 points, man.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
That was tough, though. I feel bad for
You didn't bring your A game,
I feel bad for Joe.
but you still got it done.
Kind of like the Jets in Game 1.
Oh, what?
Oh. What the
Okay,
hell,
I don't
Anthony?
understand that.
What?
It was a dig. It was a dig. No, it was a dig at the Winnipeg Jets.
Anthony, they won the game.
They won the
I know.
game.
And then they won the second
So
game.
did Jamie.
Yeah.
Didn't have his best.
I don't feel good.
I don't feel good about that at all.
Okay. Well, you know what?
I don't really like your
Maybe a
attitude.
better effort out of you, Jamie. Does that feel better now?
Clearly. Much better.
Guy won the game. Now we got to make him feel bad or something. I don't know.
You know what, Anthony?
It wasn't about me, buddy.
We didn't have high expectations, okay? If you would have told me 6 months ago that Jamie would have won this game, this gauntlet, I would have laughed at you. Right? Isn't that what we've been saying about the Blues?
Oh, Marsh, that's dripping in passive aggressiveness, and you know it.
We're all contributing to it.
Just dripping in passive
I'm
aggressiveness.
just happy that he's here, Anthony.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
That's not what I meant.
It sounded like it's what you meant.
Wow. Jesus, Marshy.
Anyways.
Oh, man. No, you can't be a pallbearer.
All right. How does this playoff experience, win or lose, impact the future core of the Blues? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. How does this playoff experience, win or lose, impact the future core of the Blues? Marsh, you had posed this question. I think it's obvious that this core is in place. The current core as well as the future core is all right here. It's the present and the future all getting playoff experience at the same time. This group for the Blues, win or lose, moving forward, has a very high ceiling. I don't know how you could say otherwise. This group doesn't even have Dylan Holloway now.
No. But Dylan Holloway has Game 7 Stanley Cup experience, too.
Yes, he does.
So when you go through the lineup and you look at the guys, like Jordan Kyrou, he's still figuring out the playoffs. He's had some playoff experience for sure, but he wasn't a big part of that 2019 team.
Right.
Robert Thomas was a part of 2019, but now he's the Ryan O'Reilly. If that makes sense. If for comparison's sake, Robert Thomas is now the Ryan O'Reilly of your team as far as your two-way first-line centerman. So he's getting experience in a way that he's never got before. Jimmy Snugger is no longer playing NCAA hockey. He's playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs against the best team in the NHL, and he might be the most consistent forward right now for the Blues. Jake Neighbors playing his first Stanley Cup playoffs ever. He's figuring out what it is to be a playoff guy. Zach Bolduc, his first Stanley Cup playoffs, he's figuring out things on the fly as well.
Yep.
And you just keep going down the list. If you want to keep going here, you've got even Joel Hofer, who's a part of the process right now. He's not... I don't want to say hopefully he doesn't play because I don't want to be like that, but hopefully you don't need him to play, if that's wording it better.
I see what you're saying.
Well, if the Jets keep going hard to the net like they've been, somebody needs their face punched in.
And they need to reciprocate.
Yeah.
That's what I need. They need to reciprocate. A la Glenn Anderson. Glenn Anderson used to go wide on the defenseman, and then he'd lose an edge and go flying into the goalie skates first.
Kind of like Connor last night?
A little bit. No, Scheifele.
Scheifele last night?
A little bit.
You know who'd be good at doing that? Alexei Torpchenko.
Torpo, it might not be a bad idea. I'm just saying if he accidentally sort of fell.
You need a guy.
You need a guy.
You need a fall guy. Yeah.
Literally,
yeah. And then Philip Broberg, who was an accent piece in Edmonton during their run, now he's a top 4 defenseman here. So when you look at the number of players that are getting this playoff experience, I mean, and Tyler Tucker now, he's gotten some playoff experience. When you look at that, no matter what happens this year, next year and the year after, these young guys are now the core. That's what it is. Now, you're still going to have Braden Shen, you're going to have Colton Parayko, you have all these other pieces that you are part of your team. But what a great position for the Blues to be in, to have half of the team now going to be the core moving forward that are getting their first playoff experience. And none of the young guys look bad.
Right.
They're playing prominent roles. The only one who's not playing a prominent role, and it's only because he's injured, is Dylan Holloway. Everybody else is being relied upon. So for me, I think that experience is invaluable right now for the Blues. And if you're a Blues fan, regardless of what happens this year in the playoffs, you got to look forward. You know, move 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, and go, holy crap, this is a hell of a team. And it'll be pretty much cost-controlled. Like, Kyrou and Thomas are on $8 million deals. I would expect Holloway and Broberg to be pretty similar. But then after that, you got cost-controlled players, young guys, or if nothing else, you have locked-in numbers that you know that you've got as far as, continuing to build your team. So I don't know. I look at it from a very positive standpoint of what I'm watching right now.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against that. I think this is where you want to be if you're most teams that is coming out of a retool and hoping that you're set up for the future. This is why I was making the point too about like the homegrown talent. It lasts a lot longer.
Yes.
When I was trying to make the connection, like I think it was a week ago when I brought up, is it better when it's homegrown talent that does it as opposed to a team that is assembled on the fly? You may get that instant gratification with free agents, a whole bunch of free agents, but at some point, those are just hired mercenaries that their best hockey, baseball, football, basketball is behind them. That's not the case with this Blues team. Their best hockey is all in front of them, and they're getting this playoff experience. So that's what I love here. The window is just opening now for the Blues, win or lose. Do you feel the same way, Carey?
I do. I think, you take into consideration, one, the team that they're playing against, the veteran-led team that they have. They got a lot of players that have been there 5-6 years and have struggled and suffered through some tough playoff losses themselves. So they're not going to die easily. Like this notion that the Winnipeg Jets, who were the best team all year, is just going to give in and quit. They lost the first round the last 2 years. They are not going to quit, and they are a veteran. They got a lot of guys, as I said, that have been there 4 or 5, 6 years and understand the pains of not making it out of the first round or not making it as far as you want to. The Blues are a young team. They are a team that, again, have exceeded expectations this year. What you take away, and we're not writing the obituary on the 24-25 season for the St. Louis Blues. The season is not over. Mm-hmm. But you are gaining experience every time you go out there. You are learning how to play playoff hockey, how the tempo and the temperament changes and the energy is up, and how, as you said, if you're sliding into our goalie, damn it, we're going to slide into yours. It's fair.
It's an accident, Carey.
No, yeah, I know. Accidentally slide into your goalie.
Yeah.
On accident.
That was an accident.
Yeah, didn't mean to do it.
Lost an edge. A trainer didn't sharpen my skates right.
Sorry.
Damn trainer. Got me too.
Didn't try to. Get the hell out the way, So I think those are all learning experiences, and the Blues are going through that. And hopefully they gain some knowledge from those first 2 games and can correct it come game 3 and meet or beat the energy and finish the entire game. Play a full 60 minutes, not come out hot and not have moments where you said Booch is kind of puck watching and just on the ice skating and not those things happen. But your intensity and your energy and your effort and your attention to detail has to be that much more heightened come playoff time. You can't have lapses. And that could be something you can have in game 52. It's something you can have in game 34. You can't have it in the second round of the playoffs, second game of the playoffs. So hopefully some of those attention to detail things, you watch them, you learn from them, and that energy. And you hopefully the Blues feed off of the crowd's energy on Thursday night. Like they're ready to roll. The crowd is
I can't imagine it's going to be.
No harmonicas being played before the game.
No.
Even if they are, whatever.
It's going to be nuts.
So you get that shift as well when the Blues get here.
So one more thing I want to add to everything you're saying, Carey, which you're 100% correct. Let's just look beyond. So the games themselves, the young guys are getting this playoff experience. Look at the experience that they're drawing from their own teammates. And what I mean by that is Braden Shen, Colton Parayko, Nick Leddy, our Stanley Cup champ, Robert Thomas, Stanley Cup champ, Oscar Sundqvist. You have all of this knowledge in your room. Mm-hmm. And that's why, like last night following the game, as the media, it's so funny to say that, as the media, I get to go in and like talk to the players or, whatever, and you have the press conference and you're part of everything. And because I've been around the team, sometimes I have access to certain areas just to walk around and whatnot. And just, you don't say much. Guys are pissed off. I know what it feels like. You say, hey, man, guys played a hell of a game. Get them at home. Everybody's like, yep, no, we got this. We got this. And it's like, whether they believe it, whether that's true, whether it's not. But what that is it's information for the young players. So like a Zach Bolduc or Jimmy Snuggerud, they're not looking over and seeing Colton Parayko hang his head or Braden Shen hang. They're walking around, they're on the bikes, they're getting back after, like they're getting ready, they're doing their recovery process and all this stuff. Like, there's more hockey to be played.
Yeah.
And then whatever information behind closed doors that they decide to pass on to these young guys. Like I know that there was things that were said to Neighbors and Bolduc following game 1 because of the penalties that they took. By the way, people are focusing way too much on that Zach Bolduc penalty. It was barely anything. He got caught. He made a mistake. He'll learn from it. Didn't happen again. Mm-hmm. And the other team didn't score. So it is what it is. But guys talk to the young players and, hey, man, and you guide them along. Jake Neighbors, you guide them along. Jimmy Snuggerud. So the value of playing in the games, but then also playing alongside Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah.
And that's where it matters.
And to your point, you just said it, like we didn't see any of those emotional penalties being taken last night. So we're seeing the growth as the series progresses too.
Right.
So if there's that positive to come out of being down 2-0, one, you could say, okay, they lost by 2 in game 1. Last night they lost by 1 goal. Maybe on Thursday they take it to overtime and the Blues can squeak one out. Who knows? Or maybe they win and you're progressing as the series goes along. I think that's something that we could also take into consideration, too, is that not only are these guys learning for years to come, but to me, it looks like they're learning as the series itself goes along.
Definitely. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have your shot to score a pair of tickets to the first ever Big League Bash featuring Adam Wainwright on Sunday, July 27th at the Factory. Join Adam Wainwright for an unforgettable evening of music, sports, and giving back to support Big League Impact. Plenty of live music, including a headlining performance from Waino, plus special appearances by St. Louis Cardinals players, a visit from Fred Bird, and more. You can find all the ticket details for the Big Bash now at the Big League Bash now at 101ESPN.com. And you can answer this trivia question for your chance to win a pair of tickets just by having the correct answer, being the 101st texter to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Here's your trivia question. One of us went on an epic rant earlier today. Which host went on an epic rant today? Text in 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, if you're the 101st texter, you'll win those pair of tickets to go see Adam Wainwright in the first ever Big League Bash. The Sports Six-Pack is coming up. Hopefully Marsh already picked out some questions because I just read off that read off that giveaway. So it's an opportunity to test Marsh and how much he was doing beforehand for our
good luck, Marshy.
Sports Six-Pack.
Wish you the best.
Sorry, Marsh. That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues fall to the Jets last night by a final score of 2-1. The Jets now have a 2-0 series lead. Game 3 is on Thursday right here in St. Louis. And you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7:30. Puck drop is at 8:30. Mason Wynn back up with the Cardinals. Michael Ciani sent down. The Cardinals lose last night to the Atlanta Braves by a final score of 7-6. First pitch tonight is at 6:15 with Andre Palante on the mound going up against Scott Blewett. We will talk with Joe Vitale at 5:15 to go over what we saw last night in Winnipeg. But coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack. So get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll do our six-pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. If you have a question for us, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Question 1, please, Andrew Marsh.
Question number 1.
All right, this one comes from Grant Francis Fan Club. Why do the Blues look so dead in the third period? Are the Blues just running out of steam, or do they play less efficiently than the Jets early in the game?
I don't know about less efficiently. It's playoff hockey. There's bodies everywhere. I think they're running out of gas a little bit.
On the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Yep.
What band?
Drowning Pool.
Yep. That's what I said.
Or Creed.
I was going to say Nirvana. I don't know. Metallica.
It's even better when Carey knows. It's even better when Carey knows and doesn't know. No, I will say that in game 1, I thought that the Blues ran around a little too much. And I think I talked about that with you guys is, finding the hits, and when they're there, you take them. And I thought that they did that last game. Like, when the hits were there, you could tell. Braden Shen crushed Lowry. Jake Neighbors had a big hit. Torpo had a big hit right away. Then obviously Stanley laid out Kyrou. And they were going back and forth the whole game. But you didn't look at anybody overextending themselves to try and make a hit that wasn't there. Come the third period, last game in particular, again, this is just my opinion. I'm not a coach in the National Hockey League, so it is what it is.
Not yet.
Well, probably not ever, but that's fine with me. I think that's where the 11-7 maybe hurt the Blues a little bit. You had guys that were in extreme physical battles that were playing higher minutes because you were missing a player. So that's my opinion on that.
Question 2, Blues.
Say about that.
Question number 2.
Say about that. Ginny.
All right, this next one comes from the 314. Hello, gentlemen, and good afternoon. It's Lou. Hey, my question for you today is, do we think Matthew Liberatore has finally established himself as a starter and deserves to stay in that role for the rest of the year?
Well, how many starts does he have this year? 3? 4?
Let's see.
He has...
I feel like he has 3.
4 starts.
I feel like he has 4
starts?
starts.
3 of them quality.
Well, that's good. But quality doesn't mean they're quality numbers.
Well, they were quality starts.
They're just quality
Got to
as far as
6th
innings go. Carey,
Jamie.
I think he's pitched pretty well.
Yeah.
I know his last couple have been pretty good. I'm not going to act like I know because I haven't followed everything perfectly here.
Hey, you been working? hell you been doing?
Working, traveling. And let me tell you, the Cardinals aren't that popular up in old Winnipeg,
How
Manitoba.
many TVs were showing basketball? You didn't tell us.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the first night we were there, not one TV.
Not one.
Not one
Shame
TV.
on them.
Now, 2 nights later, let's see, we played, and then we had the day off. Yeah, so Easter Sunday, we were at a place called the Shark Club. Anthony, you'd love it. And
I do like sharks. They're
we know
majestic
Jose
fish.
Specifically.
We know, exactly.
You got your great white,
They had 2 TVs that had basketball
black tip.
on.
Okay.
What?
your hammerhead.
Well, talking about sharks, right? Yeah. Okay.
What are you talking about?
I got weird there for a second. Look at Carey, too. But we were
Get your bull shark.
They had 2 TVs that had basketball on. They had 2 TVs that had the Blue Jays game on. And then the rest had hockey, and there were probably 30 TVs in there. So
Okay.
I guess the first night the under hit, had we redone it again, we probably still would have bet the under, and we would have lost.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we pushed. Matthew Liberatore. His body of work this season: 6 innings, 6 1/3, 6 innings, 6 2/3. Scattered hits 6, 8, 3, and 6. Runs, earned runs 3, 5, 0, and 2. 1 home run on the year. He's got 24 Ks, two walks. Absolutely, guy's been
The
excellent.
2 walks are good. Really.
I mean, 24 to 2.
Damn good.
I mean, if you want to dive into like some of the nerd numbers, the exit velo and the hard hit percentage, not good. But other than that, again, his walk rate, excellent. His strikeout rate, very good. He's missing barrels, which is good. I think Matthew Liberatore absolutely deserves to be in the starting rotation moving forward here. Now, to the very end of the year, I don't know. He can implode and have 10 horrible starts in a row, but it's unlikely. He I'll say this. The Cardinals giving him an opportunity to be in the starting rotation based off of what they saw in spring, they have thus far been justified in doing so.
Good for them. Good for him.
Yeah.
Question number 3.
All right, sticking with the Cardinals from the 217. At what point will you start to worry about Jordan Walker? The 217 says, I still don't think I'm quite there yet, but was curious if you guys felt different.
Oh, we had this we were going to have a topic about it, him and Gorman. His exit velo is still really good. He's hitting the ball hard. He hit one right at, who was the second baseman for? Is it Ozzie Albies yesterday? It was like 112 off the bat. Smoked it. But, I mean, you gotta get hits.
Yeah.
You gotta drive the ball in gaps and over the fence. He got robbed of a home run in New York a couple of days ago. Am I concerned? I'm more concerned when he's not hitting the ball, when he's striking out, when he's swinging and missing. If you go 0 for 4 with 3 Ks or 4 Ks for Golden Sombrero, like if you're striking out more than putting the bat on the ball, then I would be concerned. I just think it's a matter of time before the hits come in bunches for him. As long as you're placing the bat on the ball, I can't see it always ended up in and out.
Here's the only problem I have. He's got a 574 OPS. Anthony, what's league average?
On OPS?
Yeah.
I'll get to 4 in a second.
Because I feel like it's somewhere on 700, right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And he's well below average.
Get on base. Got to hit.
On base or OPS? I'm sorry.
OPS.
712.
712.
That was in 2024.
So now OBP, for him, it's actually lower. It's 271 OBP.
Yeah.
Not good.
No, he's not getting on base.
Not getting on base, and he's basically not a dangerous offensive player.
My concern with him is the number of 2 strike counts that he faces. I would actually like to see him swing earlier in the at bat. Take a hack at it early on, because he's 0-2. It feels like every time he's up to the plate, which means they're throwing you strikes to start you
Probably
off.
because they know he's going to sit on those pitches, because he's being told to sit on pitches.
For me, I would be swinging earlier. We've talked about this in terms of an approach.
Yeah.
Pitchers want to get ahead in the count, so what do? They throw strikes early, and then they throw junk outside off the plate.
Yeah, get you to chase.
So I would prefer seeing him swing earlier in at bats and not being in those 0-2 counts so quickly. So maybe that's something he could take a look at. But you're seeing essentially good pitches early on.
Jamie,
put the ball on.
What was his on base? Sorry,
on base was 271.
So league average is 313. So he's got a below average OPS, below average on
well
base.
below OPS, well below
Slug.
OBP.
What has he got? Slug.
Slug is 304.
The league average is 387. So this,
like I said, he's just not a good offensive player right now.
Not right now. WRC plus is a 65.
Ooh.
Average is 100.
Yeah.
So he's off to a rough start, but you gotta let him play. I read a little blurb, and it was just some, like
his WAR is
DFS site
minus 0.1.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I hate WAR.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
Nice.
It's Creed.
It is Creed.
You just turned it into Creed, though. You did.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Anyways, I was reading like a blurb, and again, it was like a fantasy baseball site, and they were like, well, maybe he gets demoted. No,
I just saw somebody say he's going to get traded.
Let him play.
Which I thought was absolutely absurd.
He hasn't been good, but let him play.
But this is where what Ollie said earlier in that thing. You've got to let these guys get through this stuff.
Yeah.
Because
figure it out at the big league level. What is he going to learn at AAA?
He's probably going
to hit AAA pitchers?
And
we've been through that.
Yeah, it's just not
great.
No. All right, we'll continue our sports six-pack, so keep those questions coming in to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Part 2 of the Sixer next on 101 ESPN.
St. Louis homeowners, are you thinking about upsizing, downsizing, or relocating this year? Well, when life happens and you need to sell your home, I recommend you talk to my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria understands every seller's situation is unique, which is why she's created custom programs to fit every home seller's needs. Many people move out of necessity, like for a new job or financial challenges or whatever it is. That's why Gloria created her guaranteed multiple cash offer program, giving you up to 6 of the best offers with at least one at 100% of the market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. Plus, you sell faster too. Gloria did this for the Miller family in Clayton and got them more money than they were expecting and within their time frame. Gloria did it for them, and she can do it for you too. Get your offers today by calling my good friend Gloria Liu. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. That's 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Again, that's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. By the way, Gloria and the seller must agree on sales price and possession date.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
Part 2 of our Sports Six-Pack is right now. Keep those questions coming in. 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. We've got question 4 right now with our guy, Andrew Marsh.
Question number 4.
All right, this one comes from Martin's Dangly Bits. Do the Blues have a playoff team? Meaning, are they built for the playoffs? Seems they are undersized.
Yeah, they made the playoffs.
They're in the
Therefore,
playoffs.
They're a playoff team.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
How are they undersized?
I don't.
Have we seen this team? Broberg, 6'4".
I just asked the
No,
question.
I'm just, Marshy, I'm
No,
not
Marshy, you
attacking
paying attention at
You're
all.
staring right at me.
Marshy, you're the conduit, so therefore I can't talk to a screen.
Yeah.
What do you call you?
Conduit, Carey. Look it up.
Okay.
You see Urban Dictionary. Should be fine.
Isn't there a saying called "Don't shoot the messenger"?
I'm not. Have you seen this team, though? Cam Fowler's, what, 6'1", 6'2", Falk 6 feet, Suter 6'2", Parayko 6'6", Brober 6'4", Tucker 6'2".
Seems pretty big.
Toropchenko 6'6", Foxa 6'3", Shen 6'2". Like, you got a big team, and you got a physical team. Nobody's pushing you around. Like, the Jets are one of the biggest, heaviest teams in the league, and they haven't pushed the Blues around. So I don't think that size in this case, like they've got the size to compete. Right now, what they're lacking is some depth of scoring. And again, if you add Dylan Holloway, who, by the way, 6'2", 215 pounds, and skates as fast as anybody on the ice, that's going to change some things. So I think this team is absolutely, quite honestly, the mentality of this team is a playoff team. Think back during that 12-game stretch, even after that, the shot blocking that they were doing, taking a hit to make a play, all of these things, like that's a playoff mentality. So I don't worry about this team that way. I think they need more experience and they need to keep improving to, go beyond that.
I think it's easy to watch Jordan Kyrou get roughed up last night, one of your better players, and then think, the Blues are a little undersized.
But so Marshy, let's go back to that, because I had a whole bunch of people blow up my Twitter feed. How does nobody go get Stanley? Okay, so take a 2-minute or 4-minute penalty right there. By the way, it ended up being a 1-goal game. You want to be in the penalty box following a clean hit to one of your players because you took exception because that's the way we do it? We're rough and tough? No, you be smart in the playoffs. And what you do is like what Braden Shen did. He went and searched out Adam Lowry and buried him minutes later. It's an eye for an eye. It's not like, oh, you hit my guy clean, now I have to be dumb and take a penalty. That's not toughness. To me, that's mental weakness. Being mentally tough is going back time and time again to punish his teammates and let them know every single time where that's happening.
Well said.
Sorry.
This is your fault.
Oh, I've done that. Gotta get someone to you. I'm like, that's his fault. You have a problem? Talk to him.
I'll talk to your team.
And the next time he hits Brad Hall, you're gonna get it, and you're gonna get it. And I might just go hit your mother in the crowd too.
Whoa!
Yeah, I don't care. All's fair.
Tell your friends.
You were there.
Question number 5.
From the 618, NFL Draft Week. Who moves up inside the top 10? Do the Bears trade up for the number 6 pick to get a running back? Or does somebody like the here we go Pittsburgh Steelers make a huge move to get a quarterback?
I don't think the Steelers get off their dead ass and do anything. I don't think they ever do in the draft.
That's harsh.
That was harsh. I don't think the Steelers will move because that's just not their
21
MO.
is going to be hard. So what I could see, because there are rumors now that Jackson Dart could be the second quarterback taken. So if Jackson Dart goes off of the board before Shedeur Sanders, you got Cam Ward, more than likely the number 1 overall pick. And if Jackson Dart goes ahead of Shedeur, I could see Pittsburgh moving up. Nothing drastic. I don't think they would move up into the top 10, but maybe to 17 from 21. Maybe to 15 from 21, which would give you a chance, an opportunity, if Shedeur is still there at that time, to be able to draft him and not have to give up so much in draft capital. Because I think that's the main thing. You can't go into the season with Mason Rudolph as your starting quarterback. They're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers. We don't know.
Okay, when does that first end, by the way?
I don't know.
At this point, I'd be like, hey, Aaron, change your number because nobody's calling you.
Yeah, I don't know. But Mason Rudolph, love him or hate him.
We're almost at OTAs here. Come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't go into the season with Mason Rudolph being my number one quarterback.
No, and I don't think the Bears should go up and get Genty.
No,
there's a fair amount of running backs in this class.
You don't trade up for a running back.
Whoa.
Not trade up. You can draft them where you are, unless that running back is, I don't know, Barry Sanders.
Wow.
Why would the Bears trade up for Ashton Genty?
CD, I'm with you. I don't know who I'm talking to right now.
Why would you trade up for him? If he falls to you, then
because the Raiders will take him at 6.
Cool.
What if you need a running back?
Whoa.
They don't need a running back that bad.
Oh, wow. Someone's devaluing the position.
Nah.
This is the same guy that loves
tight ends that are available.
Ashton Genty.
I do love Ashton Genty.
Apparently
I wouldn't trade up from, 10 to 6.
Who are you?
I'm Carey Davis. Nice
this
to meet
is
you.
weird.
And where are we?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on another planet right now.
Waterboy said, well, the Falcons drafted another quarterback. They don't have to. They got 2.
Why not
got Michael Penix, and they got their backup, Kirk Cousins.
Oh, God.
How good does it feel to say that?
Real good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You excited about this year? For your Falcons?
Well, yes. Yeah. Especially after the Steelers go off from 21 to 15.
Cool.
And they give up second and a third.
That's too much.
And a fourth. Second, third, and fourth.
They'll swap picks, so they go to 21. Give up the second for this year.
And a third.
Not a third. I wouldn't do that.
Then
I'd give you a fifth.
Then take Cousins.
Hell no. Why you keep trying to punt?
Because I'm at 15.
You can't punt.
Falcons are at 15. Falcons will draft the tight end. I could see that because they're stupid.
Question number 6.
Angry much?
They certainly are. From the 314, will the Blues getting last change help slow down the Jets? That's what Bub wants to know.
Well, it won't slow them down. It'll give you an advantage right off the face-off, though. I mean, if there's a certain matchup that you want or you want to get away from, Jim Montgomery has that ability. And I could totally see the WTF line getting a lot more reps against the Scheifele, Connor, Iafallo line. Because then you're not taxing some of your top players to play that hardcore defense, whereas the WTF line, they have no problem playing defense and running into you and blocking shots and being very difficult to play against. So that right there would be a small advantage. And then if the other team throughout the game is continuously trying to get their matchup, means they're out of rhythm a little bit because they're always trying to change. You get and then you're changing. It's like this whole matchup of like craziness. So it's not going to be like an automatic like game change. Like, well, the Blues are going to win that game for sure.
Yeah.
But it does give them a slight advantage.
There you go. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We got our Coaching from the Couch Blues edition coming up. So we've got mic drops from Steven, John, Benjamin, Vinny. That's next on 101 ESPN. Jamie, I imagine that buying a house without selling the current one that you're in is probably a pretty difficult task. Unless you got our guy Stewie, who joins us right now. Stewie, I know you've got ideas and thoughts and strategies on how people can buy a house without selling their current one.
Well, there's a big challenge out there. People are saying, you know what, I want to buy the house before I sell mine. Sellers don't want contingencies on those sales. What can I do? You can buy another house, put 5% down. I know the payment's going to be higher. I know you're going to pay this nasty thing called PMI. But after you buy the house, a month or two later, after you sell the old one, you can take that money, put it against the loan, and for $150, they'll drop any PMI and settlement based on the lower loan amount. This is called a recast. It's a great way to go ahead and buy a home without being contingent, without having the 20% down that you need to have, and then you'll get the house of your dreams because the seller will say they can get it done. They can get it done quickly. I don't have to worry about them selling the old one. We're in it. Let's get the deal done. Everybody's happy.
Anthony, we didn't know that earlier today, but now we know it. And this is the kind of information we get from our guy Stewie, and this is why we want all of our listeners to give him a call. And even if they've got a lender currently, get a second opinion, talk to Stewie, and just see what he's got to say. And it's really easy because he gives out his personal cell phone number. That number is 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
Call our guy Stewie, text him, tell him that Anthony and Jamie sent you in. Tell him you're a 101 ESPN listener. He loves hearing that stuff. But if you can't remember that number, Anthony, what can our listeners do?
You can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a great night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Where's your coach? The couch.
We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 505. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. And as Will Ferrell noted in that documentary, can't have anybody freaking out there. Got to keep your composure if you're the Blues as they take on the Jets in St. Louis. The series shifts to St. Louis on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Meet me in St. Louis, they say.
That's right. Meet me in St. Louis. Coaching from the couch. Blues edition. This is where you can leave a mic drop via the Dobbs Siren Auto Center's 101 ESPN app. And, of course, it's the Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop feature. Let's hear from Steven. Is this our guy? Is this our guy, Steven?
What do you mean, our guy, Steven?
I feel like we haven't heard from Steven in a while. Go ahead, play it.
Okay.
You guys remember that old press conference with the Arizona Cardinals coach? And he said, they are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook. That is the Blues right now. They are exactly who we thought they are. They're a good team. But you know what? So are we. So are we. Because this series, it absolutely could be 2-0 going back to St. Louis. in St. Louis's favor.
Oh, I think he meant the Jets.
And you know why it's not?
Okay, he's on a roll.
Because of puck luck.
Let him go.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. 3 of the goals in the first game, puck luck. Especially the one underneath Benner's pad that he makes 99 times out of 100. Second game, Snuggie, left foot. That's unlucky, man. And this absolutely, that game 2 definitely could have went to overtime. And we very well could have scored in overtime. I mean, who's to say that we wouldn't have won game 2? So I'm okay with where we're at. It sucks where we are, but I think we could do it. I got faith. We could still pull this off.
Who's that?
Steven.
I like Steven's attitude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He got a little mixed up in the middle there.
He did.
That's okay. It didn't matter. He was on a roll. We knew where he was headed. I like his attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steven.
Yep. You can tell he was gaining steam.
He was like running downhill a little bit.
He was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that.
Okay.
The puck luck.
Yeah, a little puck luck. Yep.
Different from potluck that they have here that usually happens from 2 to 6.
Everybody bring a dish.
Yeah. Come on by. Potluck will start at 2.
We'll wrap things up right at 6, okay? Get you guys home on time.
It's usually 2 to 5.
2 to 5. Wrap it up.
And because then from 5 to 6 is a ghost town. You can fire a cannon through the hallways here and not hit anybody.
Yeah, absolutely right. Except for the cleaning crew, and they're fantastic
I wouldn't
people.
want to hit
So
them.
let's
They're
not do
wonderful.
that. Yeah. All right. Let's hear from Benjamin next.
Hey guys, love the show. Appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
One major factor that people overlook in comparing the Cardinals and Blues right now is not only the ownership, but the fact that the ownership of the Blues is comprised of fans. They're hockey fans. They are St. Louis fans. Tom Stillman was on the radio recently, and he talked about how great and exciting it was to have playoff hockey going again, period. Can the Cardinal owners say the same thing about October? I don't think so. In fact, they called out the fans last year, and I think the fans are speaking volumes right now by not showing up. Let's go Blues.
Okay, so I will say that I'd forgotten about that a little bit, is the Cardinals basically saying, if you don't show up, we can't spend money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know they didn't say it like that, but they did.
Yeah.
And during the Blues retool, Tom Stillman certainly, nor Doug Armstrong ever said, if the fans don't show up, don't expect a winning team.
Right.
Like, it's a bold strategy.
You either show up, you pieces of crap,
yeah,
or we're going to lose.
We're just going to keep losing.
And it'll be your fault.
No, they're right, though. Let's be clear, though, on something. The Blues ownership, yes. They're an excellent ownership group that love the sport of hockey and they love St. Louis. And they're all local businessmen who have made their fortune or their good fortune here in St. Louis and, employ a lot of people locally and nationally. Mm-hmm. But they're also businessmen and they're also very competitive. So, yes, they love St. Louis and the Blues, but they're also wanting to win, which is, I think, a great combination because they love their team. They're happy. They let people do their jobs, a.k.a. Doug Armstrong, Jim Montgomery. But then when push comes to shove, they're not afraid to be aggressive. They're not afraid to say, okay, Doug, you want to overpay for these 2 young kids? You want to throw these offer sheets in? I trust you. Let's go. Because we want a winner back here in St. Louis. We want playoff hockey for our fans.
Yeah.
I think that can't get missed in all of this is that although they're great, they're fans and all that, they're also very competitive and want a good product.
All right, let's hear from John next, coaching from the couch, Blues edition.
I would just like to put some positivity out into the universe. How great is it that this young team is getting this opportunity? And they're hanging with the Jets. The Jets do seem to be a step ahead, but that's to be expected to some extent. And all of these young guys getting this experience this early, this core is going to be here for a good bit of time, our window is looking beautiful. We got the coach, we've got the core, we have the goaltending, we have all the pieces we need. And we still have young talent in the system right behind, ready to come in. And who knows what, Army or Steiner can do with a really sweet trade in the next couple of years. It's very fun and optimistic. I'm disappointed with how the series is going. But at the same time, holy cow, who knows in 2 to 3 years, we'll be looking back at this point in time and saying, yeah, this was a very formative experience and really helpful in what is hopefully another Cup run. Just great time to be a Blues fan. This series is just icing on the cake of a very, very positive season.
Well said, John.
Yeah,
very
pretty good
measured.
stuff there.
Good perspective. Absolutely. Good job, John. All right, let's wrap things up with Vinny. I said, let's wrap things up with Vinny.
Just want to share a funny story with you guys. I was watching the Oilers and Kings last night with my nephew, and he's 6 years old, but he loves hockey, so he's pretty locked into the league and plays the NHL video game all the time and stuff like that. Somewhere near the end of the first period, the announcer says, Corey Perry fighting for it in the corner. He obviously won a cup back in the day with the Ducks. My nephew looks at me with utter disbelief in his eyes, and the Ducks won a Stanley Cup? I was just dying laughing like, yeah, buddy, it was a long time ago, but they got it done.
You do forget the different generations.
Yeah.
Like at one point, the Patriots were awful in football. Just terrible. And then they're
back there.
Not since Jamie been rooting for him.
Bill Belichick. Yeah.
Did you see Corey Perry score his goal last night? Cross-checking some guy in front of the net. Do the Blues need to do that?
Yes.
But here's the thing I'll say is the net front is a war zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't call that penalty either. Even if that was Colton Parayko that Corey Perry kind of shoved cross-checked. No, he's there. Like, this is the one thing that drives me crazy about some of the current NHL younger players. Their awareness. Like, that's why Corey Perry's an older guy, took advantage of it. He's like, I'm just going to, there you go. Oh, he's not ready. He fell to the ice. Oh, thank you. That's a goal.
Mm-hmm.
You can't expect a ref to be out there and tell you how to play hockey. Like, it's a tough game. You got to battle. And if you're going to fall to the ice because somebody gives you a little shove, a little cross check, like, be ready, plant yourself, and accept that cross check or greet him with an elbow. Like know it's going to happen in front.
Right.
Awareness, Anthony.
Awareness. Got to have hockey. Got to have high hockey IQ.
Just awareness.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me, did I play against Corey Perry? Yes, I did. He was with the Ducks when I played against Corey Perry. He was an aggravating little
person.
Yeah.
Player.
The Worm.
Yeah.
The Worm.
But he was
That's Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
He was a hell of a player, though.
Corey Perry's known as the Worm.
He is.
There's only one Worm. It's Dennis Rodman.
He's Worm 2.0. Yeah, he's not the Worm. He's
fine.
Worm.
He can be the Slug.
That's fine.
Be a little be a slug.
Do you want to give the Worm to
No. Okay.
What?
two players?
Depends who they are.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'll pass.
Joe Vitale is going to join us next. We continue our Blues conversation next on 101 ESPN.
Oh, Anthony, watching that playoff hockey really gets my blood boil, you know? All that testosterone flowing through my veins. Well, that wasn't the case a little while ago. Wasn't the case. I thought it was, but it wasn't. And here's what I learned, Anthony, that as men get older, the testosterone lowers. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I just thought, well, I feel manly. I must be just fine.
You weren't, though.
Nope. No, I wasn't. And so I started to feel a little depressed, irritable, like just all the things that you're like, in a funk. Mm-hmm. Went and saw the group over and at Mentality, Chesterfield location. You go to the South County location. Sat down with Angel and the board-certified physicians, and they had a little chat with me, and by the end of it, they knew what was going on. Yeah. They did the blood work, found out, yeah, you're low in testosterone. I didn't believe them. They had to show me, of course. I'm low in testosterone, quite low, to be honest, and other vitamins as well. So they put me on my program, and now when I'm watching those hockey games, I feel it again, baby.
You want to get back out there.
Do I ever?
Absolutely.
But
you don't. Yeah, no, don't do that. If you're experiencing low energy, if you're experiencing lack of motivation, maybe fatigue, you're tired all the time, but weight gain, muscle loss, especially around that, the belly area, right? You're feeling anxious, moody, irritable, like Jamie just mentioned. Go down and see Mentality. 2 different locations, South County and in Chesterfield. Mentality is a local healthcare facility. They specialize in helping guys like Jamie and I and you, if you're feeling this way too, whether you're in your late 30s, your early 40s, your early 50s. I mean, it can affect all of us, right? Affect all of us. They focus on free testosterone levels, which many doctors overlook, and then ensuring that your treatment is different from Jamie's and different from mine. It's your own program. So visit Mentality at mentalityhealth.com/radio to find out more information. Or when you head down there, make sure you tell the fine folks at Mentality that Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. But either way, see what they got for it, because Mentality is fantastic. You feel young, you feel great, and you feel like you want to go out and play the Jets in the next matchup here. It's Mentality.
It's time for a Blues playoff report presented by English Sweep Fireplace and Chimney Restoration. Schedule your chimney inspection at EnglishSweep.com.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Callier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by our guy Joe Vitale, former NHLer. Of course, you hear him each and every Blues game on the Blues Radio Network right here on 101 ESPN. Joe, how you doing?
What's up, boys? Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Despite the 2-0 hole the Blues are in, they have played well. If you were to do one big takeaway following the first 2 games in Winnipeg in this series, what would your takeaway be?
There's a couple things that stand out. There's a couple things I've liked. There's a couple things that I'd like to probably see done differently as a fan of this team. And I think the coaches are going to be on top of it. You know, one thing that, as I've kind of marinated on the first 2 games, I think needs to happen in this series. I thought we'd see a less physical game, Stoltz, in Game 2. It was equally, if not more, physical. I look at the way the Blues are playing, and I love the physical brand. I do. Trust me, I'm the first one to think that, that 2019 run, especially that San Jose Sharks series, back in the 3rd round there, the Sharks were just hanging on by a limb. They had nothing left by the end there, and that's all great things. But you got to be able to play hockey, too. And I look at some of these hits. I look at some of the physical presence of these players, and I think that to some degree they have to get back to playing hockey. And I think that the Winnipeg Jets have had the edge on them just a little bit as far as being physical, bringing that brand of hockey, but also playing hockey. And I think you look at players like Braden Shen and Jake Neighbors. I mean, gosh, they are putting their bodies on the line every shift, and you love to see it. They're going head first into every hit. I mean, that Buchnevich hit on Scheifele in Game 1, complete disregard for the puck. I love all those things. You have to make a dent in a series. You want to reap benefits Game 5, 6, and ideally Game 7. But at the same time, you can't be so reckless where you forget about the sport of hockey, you forget about the puck, because right now I think a little bit of their identity has gone away because they've been so physical.
Joe, I would agree with that. But the follow-up question I have for you, and you played the forward position in the NHL, is the physicality aside, you know, you got to get more net front presence. And everybody talks about you got to get to the inside. You got to play to the inside. And I do my best to explain, you know, what that means. But maybe from a forward's perspective, you can talk about that because people automatically think it's a physicality thing when it's not entirely that at all.
No, it's not. I mean, listen, one of the players that I think is actually one of the best at getting to the inside is actually Dylan Holloway. And I think that this is where a huge piece of the Blues lineup is disrupted with his injury. You go back through some of his games. You look at the way he plays, right? Most players want to stay on the outside. They want to stay along the boards with and without the puck. But especially, I'm talking about with the puck. Like Dylan Holloway is so good. And remember, he spent years around Connor McDavid, who has perfected this. You know, you're coming down the wall with the puck. Again, 95% of these players, they're going to button up. They're going to stay on the wall. They're going to look for help. Dylan is so good. And I think Jordan Kyrou's in that class. I think Robert Thomas is in that class. When they have the puck, they're looking for a way to break to the inside of the dots, the interior part of the ice. Because what happens? When you get to the middle, right, all eyes are drawn on you. I think for fans that are listening that are just diehards, you go back to Braden Shen's game here at home ice at the Enterprise Center when they're celebrating his 1,000th game. We all remember that game. I know you know, Jamie, you called the game, but in this very first shift, Braden Shen scores a goal in the back door. It was Dylan Holloway who was coming down the penalty box side on his off wing, and he just makes that cut. He makes that cut to the middle, and I believe it was Seattle Kraken. Every player, all four players were like eyes glued on Dylan Holloway because you draw attention when you bring the puck to a dangerous area. Now, when you bring that puck to a dangerous area, you can get it at the net or you can distribute it off the angle, of course, like he did for the Braden Shen first goal there in his 1,000th game they celebrated. So that's what I mean when it's about getting to the front, getting to the inside. It's not just in the offensive zone, going from the corner to the point and then getting bodies in front. That is certainly a part of it, right? That is certainly a part of it. But it's also puck carriers getting to the middle, opening up lanes. It's defensemen at the point. You know, you walk the blue line, you get to the middle of the ice, right? The middle of the ice is the most coveted part, and it's where everyone wants to get to. It's where teams are trying to defend to keep you away from. So I even think as a defender, I mean, James, you knew the position. You get that puck at the point. They always talk about walking the blue line. Get to the middle, because as you get to the middle, all of a sudden now you got options in front of you. You got options to the left. You got options to the right. But if you stay on that wall, you stay to the outside, all you really do, you kind of
I think we lost Joe.
And straight in front of you. So I think that everyone can do a much better job getting to the middle.
Joey, Jimmy Snuggerud scored the Blues' lone goal last night. What have you thought about his play in his first time in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He's a stud from top to bottom. He needs to put on some weight. He knows that. Everyone knows that. He's a young kid. He will. I mean, but for how small he is, he actually plays a pretty big game. You know, this time of the year, you know, and I've been around some big, strong players in playoffs. I've been around. He wasn't all that big and strong. He really knew how to play through the physicality. You don't have to be big like Braden Shen to play with the physicality of playoff hockey. You don't have to be like Mark Scheifele. but you have to be able to play through it. And there's a difference. You look at a player like Iafallo, not overly big, not overly physical. He plays through the physicality. Kyle Connor, another one, perfect example. He's not going to blow you away with any hits, but he knows how to play through it. He knows how to get through it. I'm watching Jimmy Snuggerud. To me, he's got this ability to play through the physicality. He can play through the chaos. He can play through the noise. He can play through the energy that, of course, the Canada Life Center had there in Winnipeg. I thought he was the Blues' best player in Game 2. Not an easy environment for him. Again, just a couple weeks ago, he's living the dream, and he's a big man on campus, University of Minnesota, and now he's playing playoff hockey. He's anchoring that top line with Robert Thomas. He had 5 attempts in the first period. He had the 1 goal in the last minute, of course, in the last 10 seconds, actually, and then a couple blocks and a couple hits. So, to me, I loved his physical attributes, the speed's there, the skills there. He's got incredible hockey sense. He sees the game well. He anticipates the game well. That's what every coach, every scout looks for now is the hockey IQ, because everyone can skate, everyone can shoot, everyone can pass for the most part. So now, really, when scouts are looking at draft picks and these young kids, they're looking for hockey IQ. Jimmy Snuggerud has had a high hockey IQ for a long time. The problem was he's in college where he's around players with not a very high hockey IQ. So what happens to a very smart hockey player out of college? They come to the NHL with their brilliance, and they're actually surrounded by a lot of other players now with a high hockey IQ. Look at Pavel Buchnevich. Look at Robert Thomas. So it should be no surprise that he's having as early a success as he is, because now he is surrounded with really smart players. But I've loved his grit. I've loved the emotional side, because, like I said, we know the speed, we love the shot, we love all those things. But he was pushed around this series so far. He was in a tough environment. He's been hit, right? He's been knocked on his rear end multiple times. But we're starting to see that tenacious nature in him. He's a fighter. He's a competitor. All the things you want in a top-line player. He has done nothing but impress. He is definitely one of the biggest bright spots of the Blues here so far through 2 games.
Joe, the coaching staff went with 11-7 last night for the Blues, and I understand the reasoning as they're looking to rotate, keep a little bit of an imbalance with the lines, and certainly some of the matchups, maybe mess up the matchups for the Jets. But, you talked about some of the fatigue setting in, and when I looked at the minutes played last night, some of those forwards, a lot of them up above the 20-minute mark. Robert Thomas, like 23 and a half minutes. What did you think of the 11-7, and do you think we see it again?
Yeah, it's a little risky, Jamie, as you know, because you're looking at a game that's not 60 minutes. It's not even 65 minutes. This game can go an 80-minute game. It could be a 100-minute game. I mean, playoff hockey, not to be state the obvious, but we're not talking about there's a start and there's an end time. You don't know when this game is going to end. Sometimes these things can go 25, 30 minutes longer. So that's where it's risky. It's risky in the sense that you may run out of gas if you're one player short on the offensive side of things. Now, it didn't happen last night, so that's good news. But the other risky part is, hey, if you get down a forward, or you maybe have a forward like Robert Thomas that's, clearly nursing an injury still from his very last game in the regular season, if he's not completely healthy, right, who do you really have to sub in? Look at the game last night. Jordan Kyrou absolutely got lit up by Stanley. I mean, I almost fell off my seat all the way up there in the. I know you probably felt the same way.
I felt it in my soul, Joey.
Oh my God, my chest collapsed. I was like, like I was having trouble breathing. And you watch Ray Barilli come behind him, lift his arms up, and try to catch his breath. I mean, we've all been there. I mean, I got hit by Cal Clutterbuck, I think my second to last year. I didn't see him coming. The breath takeaway, it's always an interesting injury because you come back and it's like,
you feel like you're dying.
Yeah, the trainer's like, oh, hey, well, what happened? Like, you lost your breath? Like,
they say, just breathe. I'm trying.
If I could, I would.
You can't even make sense with your words because your breath is just gone. And you can't even speak. So that's kind of what's going on. So that's the risky side of going 11 because you have injured forwards, you have forwards that are at the top of their game, and then you can get hurt. And then all of a sudden you're down in numbers. So that's where it's a little risky. On the flip side, look at how the Blues started that game. I think this is why Jim did it. I mean, that thing was a recycle bin. That was just throw anyone out there. Obviously, you had the right combinations, but it was Toropchenko with Shen. It was Thomas with Walker. I mean, it was just everyone. Everyone was getting involved. So I love it because it changes the mojo of the offense where guys are just ready. They're on their toes. They're playing with whoever, and they're just playing hockey. Like, I love it because it kind of brings out that kid-like spirit. So that's where I think it benefited them. Unfortunately, they couldn't get ahead in the game. But, look at those chances. Like, my goodness, Robert Thomas in the first shift, point blank with Hellebuck. Sundqvist just missed on a backdoor, was blocked by a defensive skate and empty net. Hellebuck made some big saves in the first 5 minutes of that game where I think that, Jim's idea of running 11 and just running them hard, I think it could have benefited them and it could have worked if they would have gotten the board by a couple there early on and just held on to the lead. Unfortunately, Hellebuck was good. Do they do it again? I personally think that they will not. I think they're going to go back to a 12-6. Especially with some of these kind of hang-up injuries that are kind of lingering with this team. We don't know the status fully of Jordan Kyrou. Is he going to be 100%? Again, Robert Thomas clearly is not 100%. We all know that because he missed the last couple of days of the season leading into the first round. So these guys are already banged up. I think you got to run with 12 because you need a little insurance up there.
Joe, great stuff. Looking forward to seeing you again in St. Louis, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Hey, sounds good, boys. You guys have a great week as well.
You too. Thanks. That's Joe Vitale here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got Beat the Streak and Bet the Board that we got to get to next here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. As I was driving away from my house today and to work, I looked out and I said, time to mow the lawn again. I don't mind mowing. I love it, in fact. But when it comes to dealing with the weeds and the crabgrass and making sure that it's the lawn is seeded properly, I leave all of that to Green Envy. They're the professionals. In fact, they're service professionals. They're commercially licensed applicators. They're certified by the Missouri Department of Agriculture. This ensures that I and all other clients of Green Envy have trained professionals that are on our property. Their program at Green Envy, they've got no hidden fees, no contracts. You're going to love working with them. They've been in business in St. Louis for well over a decade now, and that means they only use products that are formulated for Missouri soil, weather conditions, and turf types. This is important because other companies will use cheap, ineffective products, or if you want to take care of your own lawn, and I think that's great, just know that sometimes the products that you buy, they're a waste of money because they're not formulated for our soil type here in Missouri. But Green Envy, they only use those products. They're fantastic. They make my lawn look great. Neighbor Dave's got Green Envy, so he loves Green Envy as well, and you will too. Give him a call, 636-655-3689, or visit greenenvylawns.com. Tell him Stalter sent you. It's Green Envy.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. If you have missed anything from today's show, including our interview that we just had with Joe Vitale, talking about your St. Louis Blues, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Your Blues are down 2-0 in the series against the Winnipeg Jets. They'll take on the Jets at home on Thursday for Game 3. Pregame starts at 7:30. Puck drop is at 8:30. Mason Wynn back in the lineup tonight for the Cardinals as they lost 7-6 yesterday against the Atlanta Braves. First pitch tonight is at 6:15. Tonight on 101 ESPN, after the show, we'll have Game 2 between the Thunder and the Grizzlies. Pregame starts at 6 with the tip-off at 6:30. We have Beat the Streak and Bet the Board coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hit baseballs. All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming. And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Time to play Beat the Streak here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
You're rolling right now, man. Nice job.
Yeah. Let's keep it going.
Absolutely. All right, Marsh, what are the latest streaks?
All right, I have a streak of 5 right now.
Wow, speaking of rolling, Marshy.
Carey and Andrew have a streak of 2.
Oh.
Jamie has a streak of 1.
Nice.
And Anthony, you're back to 0.
I don't think I've gotten higher than 1.
You have not. Our longest streak so far, Anthony, you are at 1. Jamie is at 4, minus 5. It's my current streak. Carey, your longest streak is 4. And our listeners' longest streak is 2. Can Andrew make it 3 after tonight?
I think he can. I believe in him. But he doesn't go right now. It's Marsh.
I'm going to go with Victor Scott, the second tonight, to get a base hit.
All right. Marsh? Or, I'm sorry, Andrew.
Marsh.
Andrew, the
caller. Michael Harris, the second.
Okay.
It's on me?
Yep.
All right, give me Austin Riley.
Okay.
Sorry. Bet you felt that way.
Mother fast name.
Jamie.
Yeah, Nolan Arenado.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try a new strategy. Who do I not think is going to get a hit tonight?
Mason Wynn.
Give me Alec Burleson. He won't get a hit tonight.
Why'd you pick him then?
We're going to change it up. Because I've been missing on guys that I think are going to get hits.
Oh.
Know what I mean? Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay.
To help strategy.
Andrew, good luck to you, pal.
That's a great one.
All right, thanks, guys.
Hey, Andrew.
See you, buddy.
Right. See you guys.
We'll see you later. Yeah, no, I heard it because you said it out loud.
See you guys. I'm out.
Talking to Jamie.
Thank you.
No, not you, Marsh.
He's got to stay.
You got 20 more minutes.
Damn it.
All right. From Beat the Streak to Bet the Board. All right. Latest standings for Bet the Board. Things got a little interesting last night.
Mm-hmm. They did because Carey had 2 picks yesterday, and it was not a parlay.
New rule, Jamie. When you're not here, I get 2 picks.
No, that's not the new rule.
Shush your face.
We voted on it.
What? Why?
It's in the bylaws.
What? No, I got the bylaws. Why did you get 2 picks?
Shohei did not play the other day.
It's not. That's your fault.
It's not my fault.
It's totally your fault.
No, it's definitely not my fault.
Pick's a pick.
Nope.
If he plays the bet in Vegas, it's too bad, right,
Nope,
Anthony?
you get your money back.
No,
yeah, no, totally. Jamie's right.
Nope, Anthony. We agreed to this yesterday. You weren't here.
Whatever.
Anthony, you're up by
Obviously.
4. Up by 4? No, you're not. You're up by
he
3.
didn't get his yesterday.
You're up by 3.
So I'm at 12.
You're at 12.
CD's at 9.
Carey's at 9. Jamie and I are tied at 8.
All right. I was looking at these lines. Now, yesterday I went hockey. I had been going baseball, and I had been rolling. And then I decided to dip my toe in hockey. I'm going back to the hardball. Give me the Braves minus 140 tonight. Give me the Braves minus
That's a risky
140
pick.
tonight. I know.
How could you?
Cards are hot lately.
Especially on the road,
Yes.
where they are 1-10.
Is that good?
No.
They're due.
They might
Do
be.
factor.
They're due.
They might be. Give me the Braves minus 140.
Give me Marcell Ozuna. 1.5 hits, runs, RBI.
Okay.
Which is minus 150.
Yeah, righty. Marsh, you want me to go?
No, I'll go. Thanks, Jamie. I'm going to take a game that is happening right now, a live money line.
Whoa.
The New Jersey Devils are beating the Carolina Hurricanes right now, 1-0, if I'm
Yep.
saying that correctly. The live money line for Carolina is at minus 115, which I believe would not be the case going into the game. So I'm going to take the Hurricanes live money line right now.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it at all. All right, the Florida Panthers play the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Battle of Florida starts tonight. Give me Sam Bennett for an anytime point, plus 110.
There you have it. Good stuff there. Tee off with the morning after at the return of the Dotem Golf Tournament presented by Michelob Ultra, May 29th and 30th at Oak Valley Golf Course and Resort. Get your foursome together for a full day out on the course with TMA, including complimentary breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, all your Michelob Ultra, the 100 West Dental closest to the pin competition, and after party with food from Texas Roadhouse and Super Smokers Barbecue on Friday. So Texas Roadhouse is on Thursday, Super Smokers Barbecue on Friday. Registration opens this Friday morning at 8 a.m. with a portion of proceeds benefiting the St. Louis Hero Network in honor of Brian McKenna. Find all the Dotem info now at 101ESPN.com. We've got what we learned. We've got 3 stars of the day, and maybe some criticisms and compliments next in the Fast Lane. Underdog just became one of the best places to make your entries during the basketball playoffs. They've got their extender promo going on right now, and with that extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boost each round of the NBA playoffs. So start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost. You got to make sure you start Game 1. Continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. And the longer the series goes, the bigger the boost are at Underdog. To play, just download the app and then choose whether a player is going to go higher or lower on one of their stats. Don't be one of these people that are like, I knew such and such was going to have a big game. Play Underdog Fantasy. You play as little as $1 and win up to 1,000 times your money, all courtesy of Underdog Fantasy. So download the Underdog app. Use my promo code Anthony. It's just my first name, Anthony, to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code Anthony at Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org.
Have you got a vision for a remodel, whether it's to upgrade your kitchen, your bathroom, or your outdoor living space, but maybe you don't know who to turn to? Let me help you out. Call my friends over at E&B Granite. You give them a call for a non-obligation consultation. E&B Granite has proudly provided the entire St. Louis area with exceptional customer service and products for over 20 years, and I want all of you to experience their fast turnaround times and 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. The process is pretty easy, actually. You can do it two ways. One, just drive down to 6135 Manchester Avenue and let them know that Jamie Rivers sent you in. The in-house design staff is going to take great care of you. I promise. They've got all sorts of different countertops, cabinets. They've got the flooring, different styles, patterns, colors, you name it, they've got you covered. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it, pick up the phone. Again, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in and give them a call, book an appointment at 314-645-9300. That's 314-645-9300. You will absolutely love all of the work they do. You will thank me when you see me. So please, again, call E&B Granite, go visit them, or visit them online at enbgranite.com.
A mic drop, a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop from our guy Waterboy. Nice job. Sounded like he was playing. Yeah, a recorder. Absolutely.
PTSD
nice
from all my kids going through it.
Jamie started a Twitch there. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or your Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Let's find out what everybody learned today, starting with Carey Davis.
I learned that Jamie and I share a brain. I don't know to be terrified or...
You're welcome, Carey.
We were both going to rip apart some fans, and he allowed me to do it.
Yes, I did.
He let me have it. We were thinking the same damn thing at the same time.
That's not the first time, Carey.
Nah, it's not. kind of scary.
Carey was the answer to the trivia question earlier about who went on an epic rant today. That was Carey Davis.
It was wonderful.
James, what'd you learn today?
I learned a couple things. One, that I need to study up on the UFL a little bit more.
Kalen Balazs.
And that there are certain people who may have just turned on Blues hockey for the first time this year and watching the playoffs. They're completely disgusted with what they're seeing. Yeah.
I heard you guys are a playoff team. I didn't look like it.
No, I haven't watched you all year. Haven't really paid attention, but you guys stink. Okay.
All right. What I learned today was that Jamie could go through a complete breakdown where he provides outstanding X's and O's insight from the game of hockey, in which he knows incredibly well because, he had a long career. And people can still be disgusted with it.
They hated it. Not it. One guy hated it.
One guy hated it, yeah. It was a great breakdown. It really was. So I learned that you can't please everybody.
No, shouldn't even try.
Marshy.
Yeah, you just stole mine. So let's just go right to criticisms and compliments. Speaking of that guy that you were just mentioning, he's from the 636, and he says, wow, thanks for all the hypothetical ways to score, Einstein. Great breakdown. Dip blank. Okay.
Wow. Not a fan of expected goals, I guess.
I don't know.
We asked Jamie how the Blues can create more offense. He broke it down perfectly.
And this was right after we got a text from Major Stronzo, who said, nowhere else in local media will you get this kind of hockey insight. We're in school. Thanks, Jamie.
Welcome to the world of radio.
That keeps you going, man. Yeah. Some people hate you. Some people love you. Keep you even.
Yep.
Even keep.
Right.
They do. They certainly do, Carey.
We get a text from Vinny. Oh, man, thanks for playing my mic drop. Can't wait to show it to my nephew, Ben. I sent that without hearing you wanted a Blues take, so my bad on that. Blues are winning Thursday, and I love the show. Thanks.
All right. I like
Nice
his
job,
attitude.
Vinny. Absolutely.
Well done, Vinny.
Good stuff.
Tell Ben we said what's up.
Mm-hmm.
From the 314, loved Jamie Rivers' video. He didn't take the shot. He didn't taking the shot with Jobu and saying smooth. Your face said otherwise.
So, by the way, for people who don't understand that whole part of the video, and maybe you're not old enough, and that's fine. I get it. There was a sitcom show called Three's Company way back in the day. Carey, you probably remember that.
I didn't know that one.
And they had a landlord named Ralph Furley. And Mr. Furley used to think he was quite the ladies' man. And so he'd get around and want to have a drink, and he'd pour a shot of something, and he'd take a sip. He's trying to be a tough guy. And every time he'd take a sip, he'd go, smooth. Acting like no big deal.
Yeah.
So that was the joke within the video, is I was channeling my Ralph Furley saying,
Mr. Furley.
Nice.
Great show.
Yeah. So that's why that happened. Sorry you didn't know it or catch it, or maybe now you will.
It's an Easter egg.
That's right.
Yes. All right, time for our 3 stars of the day.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, our 3rd star of the day goes out to whatever this was from Joe Vitale. If you didn't hear that,
Yeah. You get the air knocked out of you.
You feel like you're dead.
You feel like
you're scrambling. Not even like, it'd be like your mouth, your nose, everything's taped shut except you got the little coffee straw, and you're trying to breathe.
Yeah.
And you're like, and they're like, breathe. I'm dying. It's a horrible feeling.
Our 2nd star of the day goes out to all the cool things that happen from the time of 2 to 6 p.m.
Yeah. Yep.
That we do not get to participate in.
Yes. It's pretty much everything around here.
And, of course, our 1st star of the day goes out to the Los Angeles Harmonicas.
Yes.
Oh, man.
May they bring it for game 2. How do you follow that up, by the way?
Won. I think you got to bring him back. Yeah.
it worked out.
Yeah. You won game 1, didn't you? Hey, you had to hold on for dear life, even though you're up 4-0, but still.
That's their Gloria.
Yeah.
Harmonica band.
All I can hear now is the videos where the person's like doing the recorder. Just, oh boy! All right, we've got Thunder Grizzlies pregame and the tip-off at 6:30. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.